Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto Kenjutsu Prodigy Sasuke bashing. Before I start, please support for more amazing content and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by KILROY7087 and link in the description and support writer. Let's start the video. Story begin. Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze was walking to the Shinobi Academy of Konohagakure no Sato, the village hidden in the leaves for team assignments. Naruto had just recently passed his Genin test as Rookie of the Year. You see, Naruto is very smart, just like his father Minato Namikaze, aka the Yondaime Hokage, aka Konoha no Kairoi Senkan Konoha's yellow flash. Of this he was certainly new. He also knows his mother was Kushina Uzumaki, aka the Akachushio no Habanero, the red hot bloody habanero. He found this out when he was 8. He found his father's journal in the Hokage's office when he was with the Sandaime Hokage Hiruzen Sarutobi, aka the professor, but Naruto just calls him grandpa because Sarutobi has all but adopted Naruto, as he's also learned that he had 4 older sisters. However, unfortunately, according to his grandpa, Naruto's family was killed in the Kikbi attack 14 years ago. Minato was killed when he used the Shikifkin or dead demon consuming seal to seal the Kikbi into Naruto. However, Naruto's mother and older sisters were presumed dead as their bodies weren't found among the wreckage of the hospital wing that was destroyed by Kikbi that day. Now Naruto doesn't hate his father, he knows it's the Hokage's job to protect the village with his life. Doesn't mean he doesn't want to give him a punch to the face though. He also knows that his father was a noble man and he himself couldn't ask another family to do that which he couldn't do himself. That day Sarutobi brought Naruto to his family's home where he was allowed to live from there in out. He found that it was untouched. All his father's jutsu scrolls and books were there, his mother's journal. He also found the Uzumaki clan summoning scroll for the Wolf clan, which he signed last night after graduating. He also found the room that was meant to be for him, which he updated so he could sleep in. He couldn't bring himself to take his parents' room for himself. Anyway, after that day Naruto focused on making his parents and older sisters proud. He trained every day to exhaustion. He mastered tree climbing and water walking to get his chakra control up. Mastering the Kage Bunshin no Jutsu helped, as well as solved his clone dilemma with help from the Sandaime. He trained in his father's Taijutsu and his mother's Kenjutsu style, buying a practice sword. He also was a natural with Kenjutsu like his parents. He also learned his father's jutsu, the Rasengan, in 3 days. He was stuck on the Hiraishin no Jutsu, but he was close. Naruto still had to go by Uzumaki, not Namikaze, as he still wasn't strong enough to defend against his father's enemies, so he kept his skills secret for now. Naruto looked like his father. In fact, if it wasn't for the whiskers you would swear it was Minato back from the dead. It didn't help that Naruto was dressed exactly like his father was when he was a genin. Naruto was wearing black shinobi pants with black sandals, a black t-shirt with a Uzumaki spiral in red on the front, kunai and shuriken holsters on his right thigh. Black hid I8, and he finished off with a white hooded jacket with 3 stripes going down each sleeve and the Uzumaki spiral on the back and left shoulder, and his blonde hair spiky with 2 jaw-length bangs framing his face completed the look. At the academy. Stepping into his classroom for one last time, Naruto looked at his classmates. He was in a class with the clan heirs, although he was a year older than them. The clan heirs were made up of the Uchiha heir Sasuke, Shikamaru heir to the Nara clan, Kiba heir to the Inuzuka clan, Hinata heiress to the Haika clan, Ino heiress to the Yamanaka clan, Shino heir to the Aburam, and Shinjai heir to the Akimichi. Naruto was heir to the Uzumaki, seeing as he was the last surviving member, and he made sure everyone knew at least this much, as all the enemies of the Uzumaki clan were all dead. There were also a number of civilian kids amongst the graduates such as Haruno Sakura. Naruto took a seat at the back of the class next to his friends Shikamaru and Shinjai. "Hey guys," Naruto said, greeting them. "Hey Naruto," Shinjai said in between bites from his bag of potato chips. "Hey Naruto, congrats on Rookie of the Year," Shikamaru said, lifting his head from the desk. "Thanks Shikamaru, you know you could have just as easily gotten it as well, right?" Naruto replied. "Med would have been too troublesome to have done so," Shikamaru answered, going right back to sleep, placing his head on the desk. Naruto chuckled at that and pulled out one of his father's books on advanced Kenjutsu. He was just about to start the chapter on his father's theory on time-space seals when the door is violently opened and 2 females burst in through. "Ah, I bet you Ino pig," exclaimed one Haruno Sakura. "What are you talking about, forehead? My foot was in before yours by minutes," replied one Yamanaka Ino. They continued arguing, even when it came to sitting beside Sasuke Uchiha, as they too were the lead fangirls in the Uchiha's fan club. This continued until their sensei Yamino Iruka came inside and shut them all up with his demon head jutsu. Naruto scoffed at the stupidity of the fangirls, obliviously not realizing he had a fangirl himself, although she was more of a stalker than a fangirl. Congratulations to all of you who passed. Iruka started on one of his speeches lectures, this one about their duty to the village and blah blah blah. Naruto just continued reading his book, writing his own notes on seals that caught his fancy. Alright, I will now read out the teams. Team 1 will he started Naruto zoning out until. Team 7 will consist of Uzumaki Naruto, Uchiha Sasuke and Haruno Sakura, your sensei will be Hada Kakashi Iruka read out. "Ta, take that pig, true love defiates all," Sakura squealed. Naruto slammed his head on the table and Sasuke just HN''D. "Oh well, at least Uncle Kakashi's my sensei," Naruto thought. Naruto knew who Kakashi was, seeing as he was one of Naruto's Anbu guards growing up, he made sure the villagers knew Naruto was not to be harmed, although fortunately or unfortunately however way you look at it, the villagers settled on hating Naruto and ignoring him outright. This didn't bother Naruto as only the civilians did this, those who were shinobi save for a few, were nice to Naruto and helped him growing up, especially those who were friends to his father when he was alive. Anyway, Kakashi was like an uncle to Naruto when he wasn't on duty or away on missions. "Alright you guys, you can go for lunch but be back here to meet your sensei. And again, I'm proud of you guys and make the village proud as well," he finished as he walked out of the classroom. "Right, catch you guys later, there's a couple of bowls of ramen with my name on them at Ichiraku's," Naruto said, disappearing in a whirl of leaves. "Oh, looks like he finally got the hang of the Shunshin, no jutsu," Shikamaru said, looking up for a sec before leaving with Shinji. With Naruto. Naruto appeared in front of the ramen stand, pushing aside the flaps. He walked inside. "Hey AM, old man," he said, taking his normal seat at the stand. "Naruto my boy, how are you?" Tucci, owner of the stand, said, welcoming his favorite customer. "Hi Naruto AM," Tucci's daughter said. "So Naruto, what can we get for you today?" Tucci asked. "Can I get 3 miso ramen please?" Naruto said. "No problem Naruto," Tucci said, firing up the grills. "So Naruto, how did team assignment go?" AM asked. "Ugh, I got teamed up with the Banshee and Emo King," Naruto said, sighing. "I don't mind to— Well, sometimes Naruto, you just have to grin and bear it, but at least you got Kakashi as a sensei, so you should be able to grow even stronger now," AM replied. It was then that Tucci had Naruto's ramen finished and he handed to Naruto. "Here you go Naruto, 3 misas," Tucci said. "Thanks old man," Naruto said. The three of them then talked for a while. Naruto ate his lunch, ate not inhaled as canon Naruto would. After eating, Naruto paid the bill, said farewell and disappeared in a swirl of leaves again. Back at the academy 3 hours later. When Naruto returned to the academy, all the sensei had gathered to collect their students and one had a Kakashi. Naruto knew it would be a while before he came. He was of course talking to his old teammates, so of course he will get a little lost. So for the last while now, Naruto continued reading his father's books as he looked over the notes Minato left for the Hiraishin. Sasuke was sulking and brooding as usual, while Sakura was about to blow a gasket. 3, 2, 1 Naruto counted down. "Ah, where the hell is this guy Shanro?" she screamed. Naruto had to suppress the urge to ram a Rasengan down her throat. "Ma, calm down Sakura, Kakashi-sensei will be along shortly," Naruto said, not even looking up from his book. "Shut up Naruto baka and stop trying to be as cool as Sasuke-kun, you'll never be as good as him," Sakura shouted at him. "DCH whatever," Naruto said as he went back to studying his book. Sakura was peeved she didn't get much of a reaction from Naruto. She was about to go give him a piece of her mind when the door suddenly opened and in walked a man dressed in the standard Jimnin garb, blue shirt and shinobi pants with the Uzumaki spiral on the biceps, green flak jacket. His hit eye was slanted to cover his left eye and a face mask cover his mouth. This was Hada Kakashi, aka Sharingan no Kakashi, the man who copied over 1,000 jutsu, son of the White Fang, and only remaining member of Team Minato, the Yandame's team before becoming Hokage. "My first impressions, I don't like you too," he said, looking at Sakura and Sasuke. "Hello again Naruto," he said, looking at Naruto. "Hi Uncle Kakashi," Naruto said, looking up from his book and giving his adoptive uncle a wave. "You're late," Sakura screamed at her sensei, not even caring about respecting her elders nor nothing. "Ah well, you see, I was heading here when I saw an old lady trying to bring heavy groceries home. I went to help her, but it turned out she was being possessed by an evil spirit, so I had to go find a priestess to exorcise the spirit and get rid of it, but then I got lost on the road of life," Kakashi said. "Liar," Sakura screamed again. "Anyway, meet me up on the roof," Kakashi said, disappearing in a poof of smoke, with Naruto following behind in his own Shunshin. Sakura and Sasuke quickly walked out and headed up the stairs. Once they all got there, Kakashi and Naruto closed their books, knowing now wasn't the time to be reading. "Alright, how about we introduce ourselves," Kakashi said, starting the conversation. "What do you mean sensei?" Sakura asked, not knowing what to do. "You know, name, likes, dislikes, hobbies, dreams for the future, that sort of thing," Kakashi said, shocked at Sakura, who was supposed to be the smartest graduate. "Well, why don't you go first and show us how it's done," she replied, still confused. "For fuck's sake, seriously, you don't know how to introduce yourself? I thought you were supposed to be the smartest kunoichi in our class," sheesh, Naruto said, completely shocked at the inability to simply tell someone about yourself. Shut up Baka, Sakura stammered, completely embarrassed. I'll go first sensei, Naruto said. Sure, go ahead Naruto. Right, I'm Uzumaki Naruto, I like training, Kenjutsu and gardening. I also like Ichiraku ramen now and again, especially when Iruka sensei or Grandpa Sarutobi treats me to it. I dislike fangirls, ignorant idiots who can't tell a scroll from a kunai, and those who judge before getting to know someone. My hobbies included reading, gardening and creating new seals. My ambition, because I will achieve it, is to restore my clan and become the greatest Hokage in history, surpassing the other four and making my parents proud of me, Naruto said, saying the last part with absolute conviction. What, you're an orphan Baka, you don't have any parents and what clan? Sakura said, scoffing at his dream. Shut the fuck up Sakura, of course I had parents Dumbus, I didn't just fall from the sky as a baby or delivered to the orphanage by a stork. My parents died during the Kikbi attack the day I was born. Grandpa told me my mother died in the hospital when it was attacked by Kikbi and my father sacrificed himself to save me. As for my clan genius, I'm the heir and only known surviving member of the Uzumaki clan of Yuzushi Agakure of Yuzu no Kuni. My clan was wiped out at the end of the Second Shinobi War when it had to take Iwa and Kumo just to defeat my ancestors who were masters in Kenjutsu and Kenjutsu. Naruto said, quickly losing his temper, and the pink-haired bitch. What, I never heard of them, Sakura said. That's surprising seeing as the Shadame's wife was Mito Senju ni Uzumaki, who turns out to be my great-great-grandaunt. All this is found in the library. Naruto said. So why didn't we learn about this in the academy? Sakura asked. Because when we did you were too enamored with his almighty emo-ness here, Naruto said, thumbing in Sasuke's direction. Alright, enough, I'll go next then, Kakashi said, breaking up the little fight. Now my name is Hada Kakashi, likes and dislikes I don't feel like telling you, I have hobbies and dreams for the future, I never really thought about it, Kakashi said, completely leaving the three in the dark as to who he is, except Naruto. He knew all about Kakashi, his uncle liked the book series Icha Paradise and confusing the fuck out of people. He dislikes traitors and those who would leave their comrades behind. His hobbies include reading and training his Ninkins ninja hounds. His dream for the future is to see the Icha series be made into a movie. All you gave us was a name, sensei, Sakura said. Naruto snickered, until they show Kakashi they were good ninja, that was all they were getting. Alright then, you the pink howler monkey, you're next, Kakashi said, pointing to Sakura. My name is Haruno Sakura, I like, she giggled while looking at Sasuke. My hobbies, another giggle while looking at the brooder. My dream is to as she squealed at the last part, shaking her head. And dislikes? Kakashi asked. Be no pig and Naruto, she shouted. Please, Naruto scoffed, taking his book out, losing interest with the conversation. Alright, and finally Mr. Darkness here, Kakashi said. Ichiha Sasuke, I have little likes and I dislike great number of things, and my ambition, because I will make it a reality, is to restore my clan and kill a certain man, Sasuke said in complete monotone. Okay, so I have a rabid fangirl, a brooding and avenger. Naruto is the only normal one. Sensei, you should see your son now, Kakashi thought, smiling warmly when he thought the last part. Okay, that's it for today. Meet me at Training Ground 7 at 7 AM for your real Genin test, as the one you took in the academy was only to see if you had the ability to become Genin. This test has a 66.6% failure rate. Anyway, remember, Training Ground 7, 7 AM, and don't eat breakfast because you'll only throw it up. Kakashi said. With that, Sakura and Sasuke left and Naruto was getting up to leave as well, but was stopped by Kakashi. Naruto, I know for a fact Sensei and Kushina-sama are without a doubt proud of the shinobi you have become. He said, giving his eye smile. Naruto smiled in return. Thanks uncle, Naruto said, suppressing a few tears as best he can. No problem Naruto, now off home now, you need all the rest you can get for tomorrow, Kakashi said, ruffling the young blonde's hair. Hi, see you tomorrow, Sensei, Naruto said as he walked off and jumped off the railing, only to disappear in a vortex of water. Sensei, I'm pretty sure that kid is going to outdo us all. Kakashi said as he vanished in a swirl of leaves. Training Ground 7 the next morning. Naruto headed to Training Ground 7 around 9:45, as Kakashi would be 3 hours late again. Kakashi was never on time to anything below an A rank mission or summons from the Hokage. So he headed out when he did after having a proper breakfast of eggs and bacon with orange juice. Setting the security seals on his house, the blonde shunshined over to meet up with his team. Appearing at the logs, Naruto was met with the sight of a very tired Uchiha and a steaming Haruno. You're late Naruto, Baka, Sakura screamed. Am I? I don't see Sensei anywhere, nor do I sense him in the immediate area, so I guess that means I'm not late, Naruto said, fixing a glare on the pinkette. Plus it's not my fault you forgot that Sensei was late yesterday. Sensei isn't early to anything save for A to SS rank missions and summons from Hokage-sama, he finished. That's not the point, Baka, Sakura replied, fuming because he was right. DCH whatever, Naruto said, walking off, sitting against a tree. He pulled out his book and continued where he left off yesterday. It was 10 o'clock when Kakashi finally decided to show up. "Good morning my cute little genins," he said with his eye smile, earning him glares from the two tired genin and an ahave from Naruto. "Okay, now like I said yesterday, this is your real genin test. This will decide it if you become a ninja or return to the academy." Now he started, he then took out two bells. "Your test is to get these bells off of me by any means necessary. I want you to come at me with the intention to kill," he finished. "But sensei, won't you get hurt?" Sakura said, confused at her sensei's order. Kakashi gave her an eye smile. Sasuke was indifferent, however Naruto snickered. "Geez, for someone who got the third highest test scores, she lacks complete common sense." Naruto and Kakashi thought to themselves. "Don't worry Sakura, I'm pretty sure you won't be able to hurt me too bad," Kakashi said while still smiling his eye smile. Naruto snorted at this. "Okay, when I count to 3, the test will begin." 1, he said, starting his counting, the genin tensed, readying themselves. 2, they looked completely focused, or at least Sasuke and Naruto did. 3, he finished. With that the 3 genin disappeared into the surrounding woodland. "Well, they're good at hiding anyway," Kakashi said, "however I can still sense Sakura and Sasuke. Naruto I can't feel whatsoever," he thought. Meanwhile Naruto and a shadow clone were attempting to wrangle up Sasuke and Sakura. The shadow clone made it to Sakura first. "What do you want?" she growled. "We need to take him together, all 3 of us," Naruto replied. "I don't need you help, and neither does Sasuke-kun," she retorted. "Listen here Haruno, while the rest of us trained in our ninjutsu, taijutsu and whatnot, you and your band of pathetic girls were too busy dieting and looking good for you oh so precious Sasuke-kun, so yes you do need my help, and I will tell you why Sasuke will need our help as well. Our sensei is Hada Kakashi or Sharingan Kakashi. The man who copied 1,000 jutsu and not to mention son of Konoha's White Fang, sensei was also a student of the Yondaime and was Anbu at 14, so yes we need to take him together otherwise we will fail and miserably too." Naruto lectured Sakura, his clone also gave the same lecture just without the first part about Sakura. Fine I'll help but only because it will pass and me and Sasuke-kun get to stay together," Sakura said. Fine but this plan of yours better work," Dobe the arrogant ass, I mean Uchiha, said. "Alright here's what's going to happen." Naruto and his clone started going into detail about his plan. Back with Kakashi. Kakashi was still reading his book while this was going on. He was about to go confront his genin when he felt Sasuke's and Sakura's signatures moving, and they were heading for him. "Alright, let's see what the 3 brightest the academy produced has to offer," Kakashi thought. Kakashi continued to read, feigning ignorance, and the chakra signals continued to get closer, then all of a sudden Sasuke burst from the bushes, throwing 2 shuriken, which Kakashi caught on his fingers through the holes in the middle. Then the young Uchiha then rushed Kakashi aiming for his head with a kick which Kakashi then managed to catch all the while still reading, which proved to only infuriate the young Uchiha. It was then that Naruto burst through the bush as well, engaging in the taijutsu match as well, forcing Kakashi to regretfully put his book away. Dodging punches and kicks for the 2 young teenagers, Kakashi never felt Sakura sneaking up behind him. It wasn't until she got close and touched one of the bells that Kakashi recognized the threat and pushed Naruto and Sasuke away while jumping away from Sakura. Then Naruto and Sasuke nodded to each other and then went through a series of hand seals each. Pain. Kakakyu no Jutsu fire release. Great fireball technique, Sasuke said, firing a huge fireball from his mouth. Ton. Tatapa wind release. Great breakthrough, Naruto said, releasing a big gust of wind from his mouth which hit Sasuke's fireball, doubling its size. When Kakashi saw this his eyes widened. Shit, I didn't think they would ever try a collaborative attack. These 3 are full of surprises, he thought. He quickly replaced himself with a log escaping from the deadly fireball. When the fire dissipated, Naruto and Sasuke couldn't see Kakashi anywhere. They however saw the charred remains of the log. "Shit, replacement, Sasuke look out, he's below us," Naruto said, jumping away from his current position. Sasuke did so as well, just in time too, because as soon as he did jump away Kakashi's hands burst from the ground in an attempt to catch him. Kakashi then emerged from the ground dusting himself off. "Alright, time for plan B," Naruto said. Focusing his chakra he prepared his next move. Holding his hand out he summoned his attack. Blue glowing chains burst from the ground in front of Kakashi and wrapped around him. Kakashi tried to get out of the hold, but it was no use. "Don't bother sensei, you know full well what these chains are capable of holding," Naruto said. "Sakura, now's your chance to get the bells," Naruto added, which Sakura complied as she went over and took the bells of Kakashi. She then walked over to Sasuke and Naruto and stood beside them. Naruto released his chains and Kakashi clapped at their performance. "Very good you guys, now which of you will get the 2 bells and which of you will be going back to the academy?" Kakashi said, pulling out his book and begun reading anew. I don't think any of us are going back to the academy, Naruto said. He figured out the objective of this test ages ago, seeing as it was the same one his father gave to Kakashi and the same one the Sandaime gave to the Sannin. Oh, and pray tell, why? Kakashi asked, arching an eyebrow. Because the true objective of this test was teamwork, the bells were a way to get us to bicker, however we would still need to work together at some stage in order to get the bells off of you, Naruto said. Sasuke and Sakura nodded. Naruto explained to them about the test and said how even though they weren't friends they should at least try to work together as teammates. Plus I never heard of a 3-man squad, only 4-man squads, 3 genin and 1 Jonin sensei. Naruto finished. Well then I guess you all he paused pass he said giving a thumbs up. Yay we did it, Sakura cheered, Naruto smiled and Sasuke smirked. Okay team, report back here tomorrow at the same time for the start of your missions, Jana he said, disappearing once again in a swirl of leaves. Well, see you guys tomorrow, Naruto said, disappearing in a whirlwind. When he left, suffice to say, Sakura asked Sasuke out on a date only to be denied and Sasuke sulked off with his hands in his pockets. Later that evening, Naruto was walking home from Ichiraku's. He had just finished eating his celebratory ramen and decided it was time to go home. He was about to turn the corner to the street just in front of the entrance to his family's estate when his danger sense went off. Naruto jumped back, just missing the impact of a strength-enhanced drop kick, which created a cloud of dust. When the dust cleared, Naruto was shocked because standing in the crater caused by the impact was Mizuki, Iruka's assistant and an avid hater of Naruto because of the kick sealed in him. Ah, hello Fox Brat, I was just looking for you, he said with a malicious smile. See, it's assholes like you that make me sick, you're just spitting on the Yondaime's grave and final wishes, idiots who tell the jail from the prisoner, Naruto said. Shut up you demon, right now I'm going to kill you and then take the forbidden seal and deliver it to Lord Orochimaru in appreciation for this power. Mizuki said as he begun to flare his chakra as he started transforming into a half-tiger half-human thing. Time to die Fox Brat, he said as he rushed forward towards Naruto. He aimed a punch to the head, however Naruto managed to evade just in time. Page Bunshin no Jutsu Shadow Clone Technique, Naruto said, spawning 8 shadow clones. The clones rushed Mizuki to try and wear him down a bit. TCH, these clones aren't a match for me, Fox Brat, Mizuki said. The clones did get in a few hits, however Mizuki ended up wiping them all out. Mizuki then rushed Naruto trying to get a few hits, which he succeeded in doing, but not without getting a few hits from Naruto that had been reinforced with chakra. This is pathetic, surely the Might Kick no Imko could put up a better fight than this. Mizuki taunted. I'm not the fox asshole, now hold still so I can tear you a new face, Naruto said, taking out his sword. Naruto spiked his chakra as he knew if he was to deal with Mizuki he would need help. Naruto then seamlessly created 4 more clones and the 5 of them rushed Mizuki. Ducking and weaving, Naruto and his clones slashed and swiped at Mizuki, making several cuts. Arg, stop that demon brat, Mizuki shouted, swiping a claw at the Naruto surrounding him. Taking a hold of the original, Mizuki threw Naruto against Anamika's compound wall. Mizuki grabbed a Fuma shuriken he had with him and began spinning the giant shuriken, he then threw it. Naruto braced himself for the impact, but it never came. Naruto slowly opened his eyes and what he saw shocked him. Standing in front of Naruto was Iruka, back to Mizuki with shuriken sticking out of his back. Iruka-sensei, Naruto said. Are you alright, Naruto? Iruka said, his mouth dripping a little blood. Naruto could only nod in his shocked state. However, he was pulled out of his shock when Iruka collapsed in front of him from his wound and the shock to his system because of it. Oh Iruka, how nice of you to join us, I was going to kill you later, but oh well, Mizuki said nonchalantly. It was then that something snapped in Naruto. His bangs hit his face, but when he looked up his eyes were an ice-cold blue that would flick red now and again. If you lay another hand on Iruka-sensei, I'll kill you, Naruto said as his eyes became red with slits for pupils, whiskers became for pronounced. Bring it, demon brat, I'll just beat you down. Mizuki said. I'll bring it, alright, I'll bring it 100-fold, Naruto said, forming the cross-seal Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. With that 4 more Narutos popped into the fray, all wielding their own katana. This time they all went in for killing shots, while Naruto began focusing his chakra to the palm of his hand. As they first 2 clones reached Mizuki, they slashed his legs, bringing him down to his knees. Naruto had the Rasengan formed and chased after his clones. The last 2 clones rushed Mizuki and slashed his upper arms deep, making them useless and leaving him open for Naruto's finisher. Take this fucker, Rasengan, Naruto said, ramming the swirling sphere of red chakra into Mizuki's gut, tearing away in flesh and intestines. The chakra also became unstable and exploded outwards out of Mizuki's back, completely destroying the spine and leaving Mizuki paralyzed. It didn't help that whatever gave Mizuki his incredibly chakra boost and tiger form began to suck all the life out of the man, all that was left was a mutilated, withered corpse. Remembering about Iruka, Naruto went over to check to see if he was still alive. Checking for a pulse, Naruto was relieved when he found one. He then flared his chakra to get the attention of Anbu. How they didn't feel Mizuki's spike in chakra Naruto didn't know. But that's beside the point. However, in a few seconds the Anbu and Hokage showed up in minutes after Naruto's chakra flare, with some medic Nin and Anbu. "Naruto, are you okay? What happened here?" the old Hokage asked the boy. Naruto then told the Hokage and the Anbu present about what happened. He told every detail clearly and precisely. When he was finished, Sarutobi was convinced Naruto was not at fault, especially seeing as nearly most of the village felt the spike of malevolent chakra. "Well, I must commend you for a job well done, Naruto, only one injury, and not a lot of damage was done. Very well, I shall award you an A rank pay for this, and it shall go on your record as an A rank mission," Sarutobi said. "Thank you, Grandpa, but what about Iruka-sensei, is he going to be alright?" Naruto replied, worried about his academy teacher. "He'll be fine now, Naruto, it was a simple enough wound. Now I think it's time you get home, you have to report to Kakashi tomorrow for mission, do you not?" Sarutobi said. "Oh yeah, I was going to go to bed, but Mizuki attacked me," hehe, Naruto said, rubbing the back of his neck. "Alright then, off you go then, Naruto," Sarutobi said, chuckling. It always amazed him how Naruto could act like serious one minute and goofy the next, just like his parents. "See you tomorrow, Grandpa," Naruto said, heading into the Namikaze estate. The Hokage and Anbu headed off, and the Mednin took Iruka to the hospital to better heal him. But Naruto finished getting ready for bed and headed into his room. He changed a lot when he moved into his house. He painted the room as sunset orange and replaced all the baby furniture with bigger dressers and a double bed. He had black bed sheets with the red Uzumaki spiral on them. Getting into the bed, Naruto laid down and let sleep claim him. It helped that the battle with Mizuki tired him out. He was out like a candle when his head hit the pillow. Inside Naruto's mindscape, Naruto awoke in a sewer-like place. Confused as to how he got here, Naruto began wandering forward. "Okay, last time I checked I fell asleep in my bed, so this is either a dream or I was teleported somewhere," Naruto said to himself as he came into a large room with a large gate. On the gate in the middle where a door handle or knob would be found was a piece of paper saying seal in big black kanji. "Ah, so meet at last, Uzumaki Naruto, it's about time you found yourself here, there is much we need to talk about," said a booming voice that emanated from within the cage. What, who's there?" Naruto said, looking around not knowing where exactly the voice came from. "Over here, kid," behind the large gate came the voice again, and Naruto looked towards the gate and what he saw froze him to the core with fear, because standing behind the gate was the Kikbi no Kitsune. "Hey Kikbi," Naruto whispered, however Kikbi heard it just as clearly as if he said it right next to his ears. "Correct, kid," Kikbi said, chuckling a bit. "Wait, if you're here then that must mean I'm in the seal as well, but how?" Naruto asked. "Well, it was when you used my chakra kit that opened the connection between us, and when you fell asleep I brought you here to the mindscape, the mental manifestation of the seal connecting us. All Jinchuriki have one, so as to converse with their tenant," Kikbi answered. "Huh, okay then, so why did you call me here?" Naruto asked. "Like I said, we need to talk, there are things you need to know, however before we talk someone else would like to talk to you," Kikbi replied. Kikbi then looked away from Naruto. "Alright, it's your turn to talk, Namikaze," he said. "And Namikaze? But I'm standing right in front of you," Naruto said, confused. "Not you, kid," Kikbi gestured to behind Naruto, which Naruto followed and turned around. Once again Naruto was frozen solid, but this time not by fear but confusion and shock. As standing right behind him was his father, Minato Namikaze the Yondaime Hokage. "Hello Naruto, it's nice to finally be able to meet you," Minato said with his signature smile. The mindscape changed to a vacant white setting, with only Naruto and Minato present. "He dead?" Naruto said, shocked. "How? I mean you're dead, right?" he asked. "Well, I sealed some of my chakra inside you as a safeguard in case Kikbi ever tried to escape, however, I think my soul got trapped in a swell, because of the Shikifukin. You see, only the Uzumaki are supposed to use the Shikifukin to summon the Shinigami, when they do they are put into coma from the severe drain on their chakra reserves, anyone else other than an Uzumaki by blood. Their soul is taken by the Shinigami. I think I might be in a coma, but because of the chakra I sealed inside of you here I am. You see, when myself and your mother got married, we performed a ritual to adopt me into the clan as I was an orphan, and your mother's clan was a renowned clan from Yazushio," Minato explained. "Wait, so if you're in a coma then why wasn't I told?" Naruto said. "That's one of the things I need to tell you, because of the seal I was able to see you grow from your own perspective, however I saw everything you did when you were still a baby. You see, after the sealing you were taken from the area and brought to Sarutobi and your godfather Jiraiya to check the seal in the hospital. However, someone came into them and told them that not only was I dead, but your mother and your sisters were killed in the old ward of the hospital where Kushina supposedly gave birth to you, but that was a lie. You see, the person who told Sarutobi and Jiraiya was none other than Danzo. You see, Danzo is an evil man, he never liked Sarutobi or myself because we were too soft in his opinion, to him ninja are only tools to be used. Now when he heard about you having the Kikbi sealed into you making you a Jinchuriki, he saw an opportunity to get a very powerful tool to use to eventually usurp the Hokage position from Sarutobi. So not only he told Jiraiya and Sarutobi that I was died and so was your mother and sisters, but your mother and sister were told I died and so did you, Minato explained. So where are they, if they are still alive? Naruto asked, becoming too overwhelmed by sadness, anger and joy. Sadness and anger at what he was denied because of an old piece of shit that wanted to use him like he was just a tool to be used and discarded. Joy from knowing his family is potentially still alive out there somewhere. I don't know, Naruto, but seeing as my body isn't in Konoha, then that means your mother and sisters took it with them, more than likely preserved it with a stasis seal. I believe when my chakra here runs out, my soul should return to my body, and the spike in chakra should cancel the stasis seal, Minato replied. He then let out an oof as he was punched in the stomach. That's for sealing the Kikbi in me, Naruto said, but he then hugged his father. But I understand why you had to do it, you could only trust the power to me, he said. That's right, it's a parent's job to believe in their child, and I completely believe in you to not misuse this power bestowed to you, Naruto, and before I go, I just want to let you know that yes, I'm very proud of you, Minato said, smiling at his son. Oh really? Naruto said, looking at his father. Of course I am, I mean you did complete the Rasengan faster than myself or Jiraiya, and I must say you're making good progress on the Hiraishin, Minato said, grinning. Thanks dad, but I'm having trouble with it, I have all the theory on it understood, but I can't use your kunai, they won't work, Naruto said, wiping a tear from his eye. Well, that's because my kunai are keyed to my chakra signature, not just my blood. You need your own kunai and engrave the seal on them, and then when you add the blood, ensure you channel chakra into your blood so it's keyed to you. Minato replied. Oh, that's how you did it, Naruto said, his face in a eureka expression. Yep, now I believe my time is up for now, hopefully I will awaken my own body, and I'll get myself, your sisters and your motor-mouth mother back to Konoha. If anything, she's in one of our safe houses we have around Fire Country, Minato said as he started glowing. Naruto then hugged his father. Thanks for everything dad, and see you soon, he said, a few tears forming. Of course Naruto, remember I'm very proud of you, and I'm positive that your mother is as well, also don't tell her I called her a motor-mouth, Minato said, smiling. Hey dad, Naruto said, nodding and chuckling. And with that, Minato's chakra began to dissipate and he disappeared the surrounding area, returning to the solar setting with the cage once again in front of Naruto. So what is it you wanted to talk to me about, Naruto said, wiping the tears from his eyes, going into what he called shinobi mode. Well, what have you been told of the night you were born, the Kikbi asked, not surprised at all how serious Naruto was behaving. Well, we were told that on October 10th, the village was attacked by the Kikbi no Imko, and the Yondaime sacrificed himself to kill it, but I found out that you were actually sealed inside me when I found out about my parents, and Grandpa told me why and how they died. We were also told you were nothing but a mindless beast, but I'm starting to think everything I was told about that night was a lie. Nothing we were told about that night is true, is it, Naruto asked, looking at the Kikbi. What's your name, by the way? I doubt it's Kikbi, as I know the kitsune can have up to 9 tails, he added. Correct, you are, Kit, my name is Kurama. However, you are correct about how nothing is true about that night. You see, I wasn't in control that night, it's actually my job to protect Fire Country, along with Matatabi, a 2-tailed monster cat. I'm also only known as an Imko because I was born with 9 tails, rather than earn them over my life as we kitsune are supposed to, Kurama replied. So why was it you attacked Konoha that night, Naruto asked. Well, you see, that night I had just returned to my den after hunting. I was looking for food for my mate and kits, however when I returned I found them dead, Kurama said, his voice full of sorrow. The den reeked of snakes, and I went to go follow the scent. However, when I exited the den I was attacked by 2 men, the man that reeked of snakes, and a man with spinning red eyes, he growled. Uchiha, Naruto growled out. Uchiha, as in that clan from Konoha? Kurama asked. Yeah, their Genjutsu, the Sharingan, is red with spinning tomo revolving around the iris. They are formidable Genjutsu users, and Madara was known to have summoned you during his fight with Hashirama Senju, Naruto replied. Also, the man who smelled of snakes could only be Orochimaru. I bet in your rage-induced state you followed the scent which led you to Konoha. So you weren't in the right frame of mind when you attacked, Naruto replied. Correct again, Kit. No, I didn't attack in the right frame of mind. In fact, I think I was under a Genjutsu by the Uchiha, and no, I wasn't that Kikbi. I killed him in combat years ago after that for betraying the kitsune, as he thought he was better than the rest of us and went against our laws, Kurama answered. Naruto said. So what else do you need to talk about, he asked. Well, the only thing left is to say that we should partner up to benefit each other, like some Jinchuriki do, Kurama said. Do you mean like you letting me use your power or something like that, Naruto said. Well, for the time being you can use my chakra, but only when you yourself are running low. At the moment you have the same chakra capacity as 5 cages, thanks to the seal taking mine and converting it to your reserves. It's only thanks to your clones practicing control that you have any control at all. So it will be rare that you will need my chakra at all. No, what I propose is to somehow find a way to release me, and what I'll do is pledge my service to your clan for as long as they live. You have my word not only as a kitsune, but a kitsune lord, and we can never go back on our word. In fact, you picked up a few kitsune traits, you know, Kurama said. Alright, I'm not as advanced as my dad is yet, but I'll see what I can do, Naruto said. That's all I ask, kid. Now I believe it's time you get some sleep, Kurama said. And with that Naruto felt himself drifting off, and soon Naruto was soon dreaming of being Hokage and swimming pools filled with ramen. What he loves ramen, he wouldn't be Naruto if he didn't. What Naruto didn't know was he was in for some serious action soon. End story. Story begin. Early next morning in a secret location. Ugh, it feels like I got sat on by Gamabunta, Minato said, waking up from his coma. He sat up and tried to figure out where he was. He saw that he was in a bedroom and still had his clothes on from his battle with the Kyuubi. He was broken from his thoughts as the door to the room was thrown open and his family came rushing in. They had felt the surge of chakra from him breaking the stasis seal he had on him. Daddy honey, came 5 overjoyed voices. His wife and 4 daughters had him in a family hug that would put the Brady Bunch to shame. Oh Minato, we believed you to be dead. How are you alive? Kushina asked her husband, happy to have him back in her life. Minato then told his family what he told Naruto. Kushina, girls, you have been lied to, he said, his face serious as he went into Hokage mode. What do you mean, Daddy? Hikari, his eldest, asked. She was the spitting image of her mother, with her long red hair flowing down her back and her violet eyes looking at him confused. Girls, your baby brother is still alive. Danzo was the one to tell you about our deaths, and as you can see, he was lying. He wanted to use Naruto as his weapon, but thanks to the efforts of Sarutobi-sama, that did not happen, Minato told his family. Filler intent was then leaking from his wife and daughters. He was surprised by the levels of Ki coming from his 2 youngest, the twins Ryaika and Haruka. They were now both 16 years old, and also beautiful girls like their mother and older sisters. The twins looked like their great-great-aunt Mito Uzumaki. However, Haruka had red hair and violet eyes like her oldest sister and mother. Whereas Ryaika had blonde hair and blue eyes like himself, the twins had their hair in braided ponytails over opposite shoulders. Hitomi was the second eldest. She had blue eyes shaped like her father, her face was heart-shaped, and her red hair in 2 pigtails like her godmother Tsunade Senju. I knew I smelled something fishy. I'm going to kill that bastard. Tebing Kushina said, her hair separating into 9 tails and floating and swaying with a mind of their own. Don't worry, dear, he'll get what's coming soon enough. However, we need to get back to Konoha. Now where are we? Minato asked his wife. We're currently in Snow Country. It should take us about a month to get back to Konoha. Minato, how can you be sure that Naruto is alive? Kushina asked, still not believing the situation she was in. Because Kushina, when I sealed the Kyuubi in Naruto, I was also aiming to seal some of my chakra as an imprint to make sure if the seal was ever about to break, I could meet him and restore the seal. However, I think I sealed my soul, putting my body into a death-like state. I met him in the seal with the Kyuubi. Minato started as he told his family all about the youngest member. They all were impressed with Naruto's growth, however they were outraged with how his life had been. Kushina, as much as he has grown on his own, he needs us. I know in my heart our boy is lonely and needs his family. He puts on this mask of indifference, so no one knows how lonely he truly is, but he is Kushina. From within the seal, I have heard him cry himself to sleep some nights, Minato said, tears starting to form in his eyes. He never wanted that life for his son. Well then, what the hell are we waiting for, Minato? My baby boy needs his mother. Tebing Kushina said, a fire of determination burning in her violet eyes. Hell yeah, Anto needs us to Sayo, Hitomi said, pumping her fist in the air, her sisters agreeing just as fierce. And with that, the Namikaze family packed up their things, and after Minato eating a meal, they locked up the safe house and began their long trek home. Same time, Konoha. Naruto woke up and began his normal routine. He would start with some warm-up stretches and then 700 laps around his grounds, then he would do 300 sit-ups, push-ups, squats and various other exercise. All the while 200 clones would be focusing on chakra control by balancing kunai on their hands, all the while walking up and down trees. After that, he and a clone would practice his taijutsu and then his kenjutsu. After that, he would then do some stretches to cool down. Then he would take a shower and then eat breakfast, which would be around 7 o'clock. Kakashi told his team to meet at 7, however he knew he wasn't going to appear until 10. So he drew a quick sketch of something and then headed out for an errand before meeting his team. Upon leaving his house and resetting the security seals, he headed towards the village center. He found the shop he was looking for soon enough, which was the weapons shop. He walked up to the counter and found a girl his age tending to the shop. Hello and welcome to our shop, I'm Tenten, how may I help you, she asked, her brown hair done up in two buns. She was wearing a pink Chinese shirt and black shinobi pants and blue sandals, her inquisitive-looking brown eyes staring at Naruto's cobalt blue ones. Hi there, I was wondering if you can forge 100 of kunai like this one, he said, showing her the sketch. The sketch was of a flat enough kunai, rather than the normal one they normally used, however the handle was round, so he can attach the seal tag for the duration. The blade looked like the normal kunai, however two more smaller blades came out at a 20% angle close to the handle and pointed the same way the main blade did. All in all, it was a more aggressive and deadlier looking tri-prong kunai. Tenten realized what he was going for with the sketch and shot him a curious glance. Sure, but may I ask why you need these custom ones made, she asked. I just think it would be baddest to have kunai like these, is that a problem, Naruto replied with a raised eyebrow. No, not at all, just curious, Tenten said. Alright, we should have them completed in a few days, I just need your name to put on the order. Sure, it's Uzumaki Naruto replied. Okay then, like I said, they should be ready in a few days, so come by in, let's say 6 days, Tenten said. Sure, no problem, alright then I'll see you around, Tenten, Naruto said, waving as he left the store, not noticing the curious and determined look Tenten gave him as he exited the store. I think I need to find out more about that guy, she said to herself. Training ground 7 at the bridge. 3 hours later. Naruto arrived in time to the bridge where he was to meet his team with a few minutes to spare, however his happy mood was soon spoilt when Sakura decided to open her mouth as per usual. You're late, Naruto, she screeched. Naruto winced at the volume of her voice. Dear Kami woman, do you ever learn, or do you have to read it or be told by your precious Asuka? Naruto said, I told you yesterday, as long as I'm here before sensei I'm early, and honestly have you not figured out he won't ever be on time ever, unless we're going on something like an S rank, but alas, he said, shrugging at the end. After that, silence fell upon the three genin for a few moments before Kakashi decided to show up. Good morning my cute little genin, Kakashi said with an eye smile. Hey uncle, Naruto said with his grin. You're late sensei, Sakura screeched. HN was the intelligent response from the Uchiha. Now Sakura, it will do you no good to yell at your sensei like that, especially when he can make your life a living hell, Kakashi answered Sakura in a sickly sweet voice, which is unusual for a male to do, but still he did it anyway, all the while giving her his trademark eye smile. Now let's go get our first mission. Surprisingly, Sakura whooped, Sasuke smirked, and if people were paying close attention to Naruto, you would see a smile on his face, but no, it wasn't a smile of joy, well, not of joy for getting a mission. Oh no, Naruto was smiling because of the horrors Sasuke and Sakura were about to witness. The horror of D ranks. -1 week later. For the past week, Sakura, Sasuke and Naruto were forced to perform D-rank missions. They had to walk dogs, babysit, deliver groceries, sweep yards, pull weeds, the works, all the while Naruto and Kakashi were enjoying a good book, how you ask? Well, that's the genius of the Shadow Clone Jutsu. Naruto was walking back towards the weapon shop to pick up his kunai from Tenten. It was early again, and his teammates were no doubt waiting for him and Kakashi, as they still haven't learned, although he does commend their stubbornness. Walking into the store, he was met with the sight of Tenten behind the counter once more. Hi Naruto, come to collect your order, right? Tenten said as Naruto approached the counter. Yeah, so are they finished? Naruto asked, making small talk as Tenten got his order for him. Yeah, they were a challenge to make, but me and my dad managed. I'll get them for you now, Tenten said as she walked into the back room to retrieve his order. She came back with a scroll presumably filled with his order. So how much do I owe you? Naruto asked, getting out his wallet. Let's see, well, for 200 custom kunai that'll be about 5,000 rim. Tenten replied. Sure, no problem. Can I get cleaning supplies as well for swords? Naruto asked. It has been a while since he cleaned his katana and he was out of oil to clean it with. Sure, it's only about another 100 rim, Tenten said as she took out a cleaning kit and pasted beside the scroll. Naruto then took out the right amount of money and handed it to her. With his business concluded, Naruto then began to exit the store. Thanks a lot, Tenten, I'll see you around, he said as he waved goodbye. No problem, Naruto, come back soon, she said. Shoot, I meant to find out more about him, she thought to herself. But that Naruto went home to practice. He still had another hour before Kakashi would arrive. Reaching home after a while, Naruto went to the study to get his second kunai holster. He got 2 more and would normally have them taped to his left leg. He also learned to be able to throw with both hands to make the duration more potent and effective. Summoning a few clones, he got out a few vials of his blood he prepared beforehand. He then got out his custom kunai and went about preparing them. He wrote the seals on the scroll on the handle and then went over them with his blood charged with chakra. When he did that, the seals glowed blue for a second and then stopped. With that much finished, he took a few kunai and went outside to test out the jutsu. Out in the yard behind the house was a big enough training field. It had 3 training dummies which have telltale signs of abuse. Standing about 90 feet from the dummies, Naruto took out one of his custom tri-prong kunai. Taking aim, he threw the kunai behind the dummies and immediately felt the pull of the seal. Then channeling his chakra, he disappeared in a yellow flash and reappeared behind the dummies. "Alright, success," he said, jumping in circles. However, he then suddenly threw up. Why? You ask? Because he was hit with a large dose of dizziness from traveling at the speed of light, which is pretty disorientating, and after having a big breakfast, let's just say it wasn't pretty. Ugh, well, I'll just have to get used to that. I wish Dad's note explained that, he said, wiping his mouth. He then went back inside and cleaned himself up. After that, he figured it was about time he went and met up with his team. At the bridge. Here we currently find Sakura and Sasuke as usual, waiting for their tardy sensei and teammate. Even after a week of this happening, you'd think they'd learn by now. Anyway, Sasuke was leaning on the railing with Sakura pestering him, trying to get him to talk. However, that all stopped when they sensed someone approaching. Well, Sasuke sensed Sakura just happened to turn her head to see what her Sasuke-kun was looking at. When they looked, they saw Naruto approaching with Kakashi. As they got to the bridge, Sakura was about to screech as usual, but was stopped when Naruto held up a hand. "Enough, Sakura, this is going to be happening every day, so get used to it already. A shinobi is neither late or early, a shinobi shows up when he means to show up," Naruto said. Sakura, not being allowed to discipline her sensei of all people and her teammate, just huffed and turned her head, not looking at Naruto anymore. "Alright now, no more arguing, let's go get a mission," Kakashi said, diffusing the situation. HN grunted the Uchiha as he left his perch and heading towards the Hokage tower. "Wait up, Sasuke-kun," was the ever-faithful reply from Sakura. "Sensei, when you said mission, you meant chore, right?" Naruto said, smiling at his uncle. "My dear nephew, whatever could make you think that?" Kakashi said with his eye smile. The two then shared a look for a few seconds only to burst out laughing. "You know, Sensei, if I didn't know better, I swear you were enjoying torturing those two," Naruto said, still chuckling. "I'm hurt you would think that, Naruto," Kakashi said, feigning hurt as he chuckled himself. The two then disappeared in a shunshin. At the Hokage tower. The two were still chuckling when they appeared in the mission's office either side of Sakura and Sasuke, who both had tick marks on their heads. Today the Hokage was handing out the missions due to shortage of staff, even though he was supposed to be running the village. However, Sarutobi liked doing this, as it allowed him to get away from the dreaded paperwork. "Ah, Team 7, here for another mission, I suppose," the elderly Hokage said, looking upon the team before him. "Yes, Lord Hokage," Kakashi replied. "Any good ones today, Grandpa?" Naruto asked. "Well, now let's see," the Hokage said as he started looking through the mission scrolls, not letting anyone tell off his surrogate grandson for calling him Grandpa. Naruto more or less grew up with the Sarutobi family. Bawako, Hirazen's wife, was as much a grandmother to the boy as she was to Konohamaru. Speaking of Konohamaru, the boy idolized Naruto. Hirazen's son Asuma helped Naruto mastering his wind element, and Naruto called him uncle just as much as he did Kakashi. Today we have babysitting the merchant guild leader's children, cleaning the park of rubbish, walking a few of the Inyazuka hounds, Tora needs to be retrieved again, and old Mrs. Urashima needs her groceries delivered to her, and finally he read out the descriptions of the missions. However, as he was about to read the last one out, he was interrupted by Sasuke. "No more of these chores, I am an Uchiha, an elite." A snort from Naruto was heard at this. "I can't be wasting my time doing these meaningless missions when I need to get stronger to kill him," Sasuke continued, ignoring Naruto. "Sasuke, know your place and not disrespect the Hokage," Iruka said, slamming his hands on the table in front of him. "You only just graduated, don't get ahead of yourself." He then went into the ranks of missions and how they operate. However, at the end of it, Sasuke still demanded a C-rank mission, and Sakura backed him up, saying how Sasuke was the best and he deserved it. "Well then, Kakashi, what do you say? Is your tea ready for a C-rank?" the Hokage asked the sensei of Team 7. "I think they could handle it," Kakashi replied. "Alright then, let's see," the Hokage said, looking through the C-rank scrolls. As he read through them, he found one that sounded simple enough, but his instincts told him there was more to it than what was written. So he skipped that one and continued reading until he spotted one that was right for Team 7. "Alright then, I have a mission to protect a merchant as he makes his way to the capital. This mission should only last a week or two," the Hokage said, picking up the scroll. "Sounds good, we'll take it," Kakashi said. "Alright team, return home and pack for a long-term mission. Meet me and the client at the main gate to the village in 1 hour. Roger." Naruto saluted as he disappeared in a whirlpool. HN Sasuke grunted as usual as he headed home with the Pincat following behind him. "I must say, Naruto has come a long way, hasn't he?" Kakashi Sarutobi said, looking at the spot last occupied by Naruto. "Yes, he has, he's exactly like Minato-sensei. If it wasn't for the whisker marks, I would swear sensei somehow shrunk," Kakashi said, chuckling. "Yes, quite, unfortunately I can tell the boy is still lonely, I can see it in his eyes." Sarutobi said. "Alright then," dismissed Kakashi. Sir Kakashi saluted and disappeared in a swirl of leaves. With Naruto. Naruto had finished packing, sealing all his supplies into a large capacity storage seal in a small enough scroll. With that done he decided to get some lunch, seeing plenty of time still. Going for something simple, he made himself a sandwich. Finishing the sandwich, he cleaned up and exited the house, making sure everything was locked and the seals were set. Feeling everything was secure, he exited the grounds and sealed the gate and grounds as well, setting the barrier seals and everything. He then headed to the main gate, finding Kakashi and their client awaiting the rest of the team. "Ah, Naruto, there you are, this is our client Asakura Takeshi. Takeshi-san, this is Uzumaki Naruto." Kakashi introducing Naruto to the client. "Hello young Naruto, I must thank you for accepting the mission to protect me on my journey," Takeshi said, bowing. "It's no problem Takeshi-san, just my duty as a Konoha shinobi," Naruto said, smiling and rubbing the back of his neck. Soon enough Sakura and Sasuke turned up before the deadline. With the team present, the mission began and they exited the village, signing out as they did, with Naruto saying goodbye to the Eternal Gate Guardians Kotetsu and Izumo. Meanwhile in Kuni land of hot springs. After traveling for 2 days, Naruto's family made it to the docks in Kuni land of snow. From there they chartered a ship to take them to Kuni. They tried getting one that would bring them closer to Konoha, however, those ships wouldn't be leaving for a few weeks and the family couldn't wait that long. Well, Minato could, but let's face it, he had no say with 5 females to outvote him at every turn. Anyway, the family got off the boat at a harbor village in Kuni. They didn't get a name as they only stayed long enough to resupply. Leaving the village boundaries, Kushina bit her thumb and went through a series of hand seals and slammed her hand down on the ground. "Uchius no Jutsu," she announced the jutsu, and with that a large cloud of smoke appeared, signaling the summoning. From out of the cloud came a horse-eyed wolf, its fur a creamy whitish gray with yellow eyes, a look of shock on its face clear. "Kushina, my Kami, we thought you dead, especially after Naruto told us what happened," the wolf said, finally finding his voice. "Well Balto, as you can see I'm very much alive, and so are the rest of us, and how did you meet Naruto?" Kushina said, confused as to how her baby boy was able to talk to the clan summons. "We know of Naruto, because he has signed the contract, in fact he was able to summon Fenrir-sama on his first try," Balto said, chuckling. "What, but he should only be 13, he shouldn't have the amount of chakra to be able to summon Fenrir," Kushina said, shocked at her son's ability. "Looks like the seal worked," Minato said, chuckling and proud at his son's accomplishments. "What do you mean Minato?" Kushina asked. "Well, I designed the seal to slowly convert Kikbi's chakra and feed it to Naruto's reserves, and it appeared to have worked. However, with all that chakra Naruto must work hard to gain any control to effectively use his chakra," Minato replied. "He has, we witnessed him using the Kage Bunshin no Jutsu most effectively, having at least 100 clones work on his control daily," Balto said. "Anyway, we'll let Naruto tell you all about his training and abilities when you return home. Now what is it you summoned me for?" Kushina Balto asked. "Oh right, Balto, we need you to help find Tsunade. We plan on bringing her back with us, we'll be needing her help to take care of some problems we may have once we return," Kushina said, remembering her reason for summoning Balto. "No problem, I still remember her scent," Balto said, sniffing the air to get a heading. "Mom, why are we looking for Tsunade?" Hikari asked, wondering why they were looking for their cousin. "Because Hikari, Tsunade and Shizune are the only ones I would trust right now to be able to check Naruto over to make sure he's okay, that and we'll need her when we take on the elders," Kushina answered. "Oh okay," Hikari said. And with that the surviving Namikazes received their heading from Balto, who told them Tsunade was at least in Kuni Fire Country, more than likely vacating one of the gambling towns situated around. "Hang on Naruto, mommy's coming," Kushina thought. Back with Naruto and Team 7 3 days later. Team 7 had made it to the fire capital with no troubles in 3 days. They had met a few bandits on the way, but they were easily dealt with save for Sasuke and Sakura, freezing in the heat of battle. Naruto had made his first kill, however, when he defended his teammates in their frozen state. Tough as he was, Naruto still was shaken. He threw up after the battle was over when Kakashi finished of the rest of the bandits. Kakashi then told Naruto what he was told by Minato, as ninja they will eventually have to kill, however, as long as he knows that as long as he continues to feel bad about it, he is still human. After that fiasco it was smooth sailing from there. Well, just as long as no one jinxes it. "I must thank you again Kakashi-san, you and your team," Takeshi said as they neared the market square of the capital. "No problem Asakura-san," Kakashi replied, waving his hand. "In fact it's been years since I've been to the capital." Yes, the capital of Fire Country was a beautiful city. The palace, where the daimyo lived, was a tall beautiful building situated in the middle of the city, surrounded by a moat of sorts with beautiful detailed bridges. Look up Himeji Castle. To the east of the castle was the market filled with different stores such as tailor, blacksmiths and an open food market where a great number of stalls were located. Just south of the castle was the gardens, which were just as breathtaking as the castle, no doubt filled with wildlife such as deer and foxes and different birds. Finally to the east and north was the housing areas, mainly the merchant clans, which was where Takeshi was headed. In the north where they were right now was where the inns and bars were located. "Oh, you have been here before, Haddock-san?" Takeshi asked. "Yes, with my squad just after the war actually," Kakashi replied. "Ah, well, I hope you enjoy your visit here now as well. May we meet again, Squad 7," Takeshi said, waving as he walked off toward the housing areas. "Alright gang, let's go find ourselves an inn to stay for the night, then you can go explore," Kakashi said, addressing his team. He led them to an inn called Tabi no Kuksoku Journey's Rest. However, it wasn't simple in design, it was actually a very large beautiful building. Picture the Hinata Inn from Love Hina. Kakashi walked up to the counter and was met with an average-looking male at the check-in counter. Kakashi asked for 4 single rooms for him and his team for the night and was quickly handed over the keys. "Alright you guys, here you go," Kakashi said. "Now don't stay out too late, I want us to head off early tomorrow, alright?" "Roger sensei," Naruto said. Sasuke gave a grunt and Sakura nodded her head. "Alright then, off you go and explore the capital, that might be the only chance you get for a while," Kakashi added before heading towards a pub. Sakura headed straight to the market and surprisingly so did Sasuke, but he headed towards the blacksmiths most likely to check out what weapons they have for sale, while Naruto headed towards the gardens to check them out and to get in some reading. When he got to the gardens he found a nice area by a pond where a lovely willow tree was situated, so he decided to sit by it while he read. He opened up his Kenjutsu notebook and read over some of the seals he came up with. One he was working on was to negate Kenjutsu from reading his chakra, more or less it would prevent Sharingan from stealing his jutsu and predict his moves, and it would also allow the Haiga from zeroing on his Tenketsu points. He was looking over his notes for about 30 minutes when he heard some noises nearby. To him they sounded like sounds of struggle. Jumping up onto the branches to get a good look around, Naruto surveyed the area. It took him a few moments till he found the source of the sounds. He spotted 3 shinobi dragging a red-haired girl through the woods heading south. For a while Naruto could make out the girl cursing her captors, stuff like, "Let me go, you ass fuckers, if I get free I will fuck up every last one of you ass Captain 7 ways to Sunday," she shouted, only to be struck in the back of the knee, while another slapped her after. Naruto narrowed his eyes. It was clear these shinobi were up to no good. What's more is they weren't dressed like the 7 guardsmen or samurai that protect the capital, nor did they look like Konoha ninja. However, their behavior already proved they weren't. Konoha ninja don't treat POWs like that, well, not until they are interrogated. Naruto followed the shinobi to see what they wanted. Summoning a clone, he gave it a Hiraishin kunai and had it return back to his room with a key and stick it in the wall in the room. He then began to follow the shinobi and their hostage for a while, trying to listen into their conversation. The girl began struggling again when one of the shinobi got tired of dealing with her and struck her harder than before. The shinobi then took the girl and threw her over his shoulder, however he was slapped over the head by one of the others. "Careful you idiot, remember Lord Orochimaru wants the Uzumaki girl alive, not dead," the leader said. Naruto's eyes widened in surprise. Another Uzumaki, one of his clan member, was still alive. No matter what, he needed to save this girl. "You know, I kinda felt bad when we killed her parents," the mother looked delicious, one of the others. "Yeah, I hear you," the other replied. If Naruto didn't learn to kill his emotions during missions, then he would have more than likely give his position away by leaking killer intent. He decided he needed to act quickly, otherwise he would be too far away to use the Hiraishin. He was able to use it now, however he found that the kunai had a limit on the distance he could travel, of about 20 miles. Using his superior speed and stealth, Naruto took out the first guy silently. He wasn't as lucky with the leader. When Naruto came up to the leader just happened to turn around and Naruto ended up getting him in the neck. The leader's gurgled yells of course alerted the third shinobi to Naruto's presence, however it didn't matter because all it did was put him on guard. Naruto was quick to hide, however, after keeping the element of surprise in his favor. "Alright, you show yourself," the shinobi said as he put the girl down on the ground. The shinobi then tried getting Naruto to show by throwing kunai and shuriken. "Come on out, I know you're there," the guy said, throwing a few more kunai. Then there was silence. Then the shinobi ended jumping back as a kunai landed in front of him. "Ha, you missed," he said, however he was soon silent as he saw a yellow flash right in front of him. Naruto appeared in front of him and then slit his throat, killing the last shinobi. But the battle over, Naruto went over to the girl to check her over, noticing that she was okay save for a few bruises she had. Looking better at the girl, he noticed she was beautiful. She had a nice soft round face with her hair framing it save for one strand falling down the middle of her face. The girl's hair was a nice shade of red, very close to his mother's, however in the setting sun's light, her hair looked like a dark shade of reddish pink. Her figure was well developed for someone her age. She looked around 14, she was thin, but not too thin, her body showed signs of training. She also looked to be about a small D cup, but she was still young yet. Her attire was a brown tunic with a short skirt with black biker shorts. She also had simple enough black shinobi sandals. Overall she was one of the most attractive girls Naruto has seen. Naruto, wanting to make sure she was alright, shook her to get her to awaken. "Hey, miss, wake up," he said as he shook her. It took a few shakes before a groan was made as the girl slowly woke up. "Ugh, my head," she said, holding said head. "Yeah, that would be from the assholes kidnapping you, are you okay?" Naruto said, softly looking at her. She then stared back and chocolate brown eyes met sapphire blue. Their eyes interlocked for what seemed like hours but was only seconds until they both began to blush and turned their gazes elsewhere. "Yeah, I'm fine, thanks for saving me," the girl replied. "No problem, I couldn't let them with kidnapping a pretty girl," Naruto said, blushing even more when he realized what he said. "Why you think I'm pretty?" the girl asked, looking back towards him. "Of course, otherwise I wouldn't have said it," Naruto said, smiling not unlike his father, making the girl blush redder than her hair. Thanks," she said, looking away again. So what's your name?" "I'm Uzumaki Naruto," said, grinning foxily. The girl gasped and her eyes widened. "Seriously, another Uzumaki, but your hair's blonde, there's no fucking way you're in Uzumaki," the girl said. "Well, I am, I got my dad's hair, but my mother was in Uzumaki, in fact my mother was Kushina Uzumaki, heiress to the clan, and also the Akatsushio, no habanero," Naruto replied, the girl's eyes widening even further. "No fucking way, my parents have been looking for her, are you sure, what proof do you have?" the girl asked. Suddenly blue glowing chains burst from Naruto's back and began to weave left and right. "How's that? My mother was known for her special chakra which I inherited, and if you don't believe that much, how about this Kuchiyas no Jutsu?" Naruto said, performing the summoning jutsu when the smoke cleared. Balto was standing in front of the girl. "How about that, I got the clan summons, the Wolf Clan." "Hiya Balto, how's it going?" Naruto said, turning to Balto when talking to him. "I'm fine, Naruto, and I need to tell you that your mother is alive," Balto replied, looking at his young charge, Naruto, and the girl's eyes widened. "What, you mean she was fucking dead?" the girl said. "Well, presumed dead, but I believe otherwise and this is proof," Naruto said. He then looked to Balto. "Balto, do you know where she is, and what about my dad, is he with her?" Naruto asked. "Yes, pup, your family is still alive and are on their way home to you as we speak. I was dismissed when they entered Tenzakugai, looking for a Senjutsunate, apparently she is a cousin of your mother's," Balto replied. "So what did you call me for, Naruto?" "Well, I need you to find Kakashi and tell him to meet me at the hotel," Naruto replied. "No problem, I have his scent already," Balto said, running off to find Kakashi. Aya was about to ask more questions, but seeing her questioning look, Naruto cut her to the chase. "Alright, I'll tell you everything as soon as we get back to my hotel room, but beforehand can you tell me your name?" Naruto asked, looking at the girl, breaking her out of her trance she was in. "Oh, well, I'm Taya, Uzumaki Taya," she replied. "Well then Taya, hold on and brace yourself," Naruto said as he grabbed her with one arm. "Wait, what are you doing?" she started but didn't finish as they disappeared in a yellow flash. Back at the hotel room, Naruto and Taya appeared inside his hotel room with Flash, and almost immediately Taya had to barf. Running to the window, she threw up out the window. When she was finished, she turned around and glared at Naruto. "What the fuck, shithead?" she shouted. Sorry, I did warn you though. The jutsu I use tends to have that effect on first-time users." "Well, what the fuck kind of jutsu was that?" Taya asked, moving to the bed. "It was an advanced shunshin," Naruto replied. He then looked downcast as he continued. Listen, do you have any other family beside your parents?" he asked. Taya gained a saddened expression on her face. "No, I only had my parents, and those fuckers had to kill them," she replied, tears flowing while said the last part with a growl. "Well, seeing as we're family, you should come back with me to Konoha," Naruto said with a warm smile. "Wait, really? But you barely know me," she said with a shocked look on her face. "So I get to know, big whoop. Also remember to in Uzumaki nothing is more important than family," Naruto said, grinning his foxy grin, which made Taya blush. "Yeah, I remember, my parents drilled it into my head, that in Kenjutsu," Taya replied with a pout which made her look adorable. "How far you in Kenjutsu?" Naruto asked. According to his mother's scroll, he was about a level 8 in Uzumaki standards, which was about a level 25 in normal standards, and there is only 10 levels. "I'm about a level 7, we were starting on the more advanced stuff before, well you know," she said, looking down. It was then that a knock was heard, followed by a voice. "Naruto, you in there?" Kakashi asked. "Your summon said you needed me and sounded like it was urgent." "Yeah, I'm here, sensei." "The door's open," Naruto replied. "So what was it you needed me for?" Kakashi started to say, but stopped when he spotted Taya. "Hello, and who might you be?" Kakashi asked, looking towards Taya. "Sensei, this is Taya. I came upon this group of shinobi trying to kidnap her to take to Orochimaru. I remember learning that he used orphans and certain people to conduct experiments, so I knew I need to save her," Naruto answered. "Huh, well then good job, Naruto, and I guess you want to take her home with us seeing as she has no more family here, correct?" Kakashi said, smiling. Maybe now Naruto would be less lonely now seeing as he had some kin now. "Yeah, more or less," Naruto said, rubbing the back of his neck nervously. Alright then, well, as long as this is all the excitement we'll be having for tonight, I'll leave you two to it, just don't stay up too late, we need to head back early, alright. Roger sensei, good night, Naruto said, waving to his sensei as Kakashi walked out the door. So where exactly am I supposed to sleep tonight, Naruto Taiya asked, looking around the room, seeing that it was a single room, i.e. one bed. You're going to sleeping on the bed, I got a futon and a storage seal, so I'll take the floor, Naruto replied. Oh okay then. She replied, surprised by that. So what level are you in Kenjutsu then, she asked, remembering she was going to ask him before Kakashi came in. I'm about level 8 in Uzumaki standards, well, according to my mom's scrolls. I've never actually had one to confirm this, as I was the only one in the village studying Kenjutsu, and Jiraiya of the Sannin was rarely in the village, and when he was he couldn't help me seeing as he hadn't experience in the Uzumaki style of Kenjutsu, Naruto replied honestly. Taiya's jaw dropped, he was self-taught and was that good. So how about we get to know each other after you get cleaned up, Naruto said, setting the futon up after unsealing it and some bed sheets and pillows from the scroll. He also unsealed 2 sets of pajamas, one for him and Taiya, handing them to her. He went into the sitting room to wait. Naruto cleaned himself up using a seal he created that used a simple water manipulation to wipe away all sweat and dirt from him, then a little wind jutsu, and he was dry. He then got into his pajamas. A little while later Taiya came out ready for bed herself. She was grateful for the pajamas, although a little big they were surprisingly comfortable. So what did you want to know, Taiya said, coming out from the bathroom. Well, don't you start off with your likes, dislikes, hobbies and dreams or goals for the future? Naruto asked. Okay, well, I like music, especially playing the flute, she started, although she frowned when she said it. However, those assholes broke my flute my mother gave me, she said low, but not low enough to not be heard. I also like Kenjutsu, I find it really interesting, and I love reading. I dislike stuck-up pricks, and I also don't like my hair very much, she added. Why, I think it's beautiful, it's a really nice shade of red, and it has a nice glow in the moonlight, Naruto said honestly. It was true, from the moonlight shining in her hair looked like red silk, from the way it shined and glistened. Of course, this admission from Naruto made Taiya turn an adorable shade of red when she blushed. Really, you like my hair, she said, playing with a strand of it. Of course, like I said, it's really beautiful, in fact I noticed it straight away, Naruto said, smiling warmly. Well, I guess I don't hate it anymore, she said with a redder blush on her face. Hobbies was next, right? Well, like I said, playing my flute, reading and Kenjutsu. I also like cooking. Me and my mom would try out different recipes, so it was something I really enjoyed. Dreams for the future, well, I guess I'd like to become a seals master and a good kunoichi. I also really would like to get married one day with a nice guy and raise a family, she said with a blush as she mentioned her biggest dream of having a family someday. Well, Taiya, I'll help you along the way, he said, again smiling warmly, a nice true smile. So how about you, she asked, looking at the blonde. Well, I like Kenjutsu, reading, gardening, training and the occasional prank. I also like the occasional treat of ramen at my favorite restaurant, Ichiraku's. I dislike arrogant and stuck-up pricks and those that blame others for reasons beyond their control. My hobbies include pranking, reading, gardening and creating new seals. And my dream is to one day become Hokage to protect those precious to me and surpass the previous Hokage and also make my family proud. I also want to settle down with a nice girl and raise a family together to rebuild the Uzumaki clan, Naruto said, smiling when mentioning his hobbies and likes. He also had a faraway look when mentioning his dreams. Taiya blushed again when he mentioned his dreams. Now she wouldn't mention this out loud right now cause she was getting to know him, but she was falling for Naruto and hard. It started by the fact that he went out of his way to save her. He didn't know and couldn't be sure she was in Uzumaki and could have left her to her fate, however he saved her, so that gained him her thanks and admiration. The next thing was the way he was treating her, not like a victim, he was being careful of course, but he was treating her like walking around eggshells. She hated when people did that. Yes, she lost her parents and he was considerate, didn't mean she wanted him to treat her like a fucking China doll, which he wasn't, which was a huge plus. And lastly, he likes her hair. Sure, he's in Uzumaki, but he said his family was previously known to be dead, so he didn't grow up with his mother, so he only saw her in picture, so Taiya can't attribute his like of her hair to that, but still it was something was teased about by kids here. She had come to hate her hair, however now she was beginning to think different thanks to Naruto. He was also genuinely kind and caring. It also didn't hurt that he was cute and good looking. Okay, let's pick this back up in the morning, okay Taiya. I think we should be getting to sleep now if we're going to be waking up early, Naruto said, looking at the clock they had in the room. Yeah, good idea, Naruto, she said. With that, the two teens headed to their beds and quickly fell asleep. Taiya fell asleep almost instantly due to her ordeal today and from simple fatigue. As they fell asleep, their dreams focused on one another. The next morning, Naruto and Taiya had gotten up early enough, got themselves ready and headed out to meet up with Naruto's team. When they arrived, Sakura and Sasuke threw her questioning glances. "Is she?" Sakura asked. "This is Taiya, I saved her from being kidnapped last night," Naruto said. "Oh okay then, you better stay away from my Sasuke-kun," Sakura said, pointing at Taiya. Naruto rolled his eyes in her predictable behavior. Sasuke just ned. "Relax Pinky, I'm not interested in him," she said. She then threw an admiring glance towards Naruto, which Kakashi picked up on. Sakura was about to retort, however Kakashi cut her to the chase. "Alright team, let's start heading back home now. Taiya, do you have shinobi training?" Kakashi asked. "Yeah, my parents taught me enough to survive. Dad said I was about mid to high genin level." Taiya replied. "Alright then, that will make things easier," Kakashi said. He then told them they'll be setting a quick enough pace, seeing as Taiya wasn't a plain civilian. Jumping through the trees, they made their way home to Konoha. The rest of Team 7 however never missed the interactions between the two Uzumaki. When they stopped for the night as Naruto and Taiya talked, nobody missed the blushes they both sported when they would look at each other as they talked. It was surprising for Sakura and Sasuke as Naruto was acting sociable for once. But then again, they never realized they themselves were the problem for that. Naruto at least acted sociable in the academy with Shikamaru and Shinji, as well as Kiba. As they resumed the next day, the other two members of Team 7 still couldn't get over the interactions between Taiya and Naruto. They also couldn't believe the fact that Naruto found another Uzumaki. Continuing the pace from yesterday, the team made it back to Konoha before nightfall. They met with Izumo and Katetsu, who greeted them as usual as Team 7 signed in. From there the group continued to the Hokage's office. "Hello Team 7, mission accomplished I assume?" he asked, looking at Kakashi. "Yes Lord Hokage," Kakashi said. He then gave the mission report, which more or less summarized what happened. "And who is this young lady then?" Sarutobi asked, looking at Taiya, who shrunk into herself under the gaze of the professor. Taiya Uzumaki sir," she answered, getting a surprised look on his face. "Oh, and do tell how you came across Team 7, Taiya," Sarutobi asked. Taiya then told how her family had been looking for the clan heiress Kushina but settled in the capital, and then she told how these shinobi murdered her parents and kidnapped her to take to Orochimaru. Then she told him how Naruto rescued her. All the while both redhead and blonde kept glancing at each other and blushing. "Like father like son," Sarutobi muttered. "And what would you like to do now you are here in Konoha?" Sarutobi asked. "If it's possible, I'd like to be a Kunoichi, Lord Hokage. I already have training from my parents," Taiya replied. "Alright, well I would need you to perform a test to see if you are capable. Kakashi, if you wouldn't mind doing the test 3 days from now?" Sarutobi asked, turning towards Kakashi. "Of course Lord Hokage," Kakashi answered. "But now I believe that will be all tonight Team 7, you have the next week off from missions as per usual upon complete any mission higher than a C rank," Sarutobi said. "Team 7, you are dismissed." Lord Hokage. Team 7 saluted. Kakashi disappeared in his usual leaf shunshin. Sasuke and Sakura left via door. Naruto waved goodbye to his surrogate grandfather as he grabbed onto Taiya's shoulder and both disappeared in a whirlpool. But Naruto and Taiya. "No nausea," Taiya said when they appeared outside Naruto's compound. "Yeah, I used a different jutsu, just a normal shunshin," Naruto said. Taiya, before we go in, I just want to tell you something important," Naruto said, getting more nervous by the minute. "What is it Naruto?" Taiya asked, wondering why her fellow clansman was getting nervous. "Well, do you know what happened when the Kyuubi attacked 14 years ago?" Naruto asked. "Yeah, the 4th Hokage sacrificed to kill it as they say, but something like the Kyuubi is too powerful to simply kill, so what did happen to it?" Taiya said. "Well, he sealed it into me. I'm the Kyuubi's Jinchuriki," Naruto said, hanging his head. "So you're a Jinchuriki, am I supposed to act different around you now?" Taiya asked, looking at him with a confused look. "I dunno, I was kinda afraid you wouldn't want to be around me anymore or something," Naruto replied. "Well, that's just stupid. Remember Naruto, we're both Uzumaki, so we know the basics of Kenjutsu, so we should both know that a scroll with a kunai in it is still just a scroll, and the kunai is still just a kunai, right?" Taiya said. She was then taken by surprise when Naruto hugged her. "Thank you," he whispered. "No problem Naruto, we're family now and family sticks together, right?" Taiya said, smiling warmly. Naruto nodded his head, wiping the tears from his eyes. He was really afraid she wouldn't accept him. "Alright, let's head inside now," Naruto said, unlocking the gate. "Wow, so is this your place?" Yeah, Taiya asked. "Yeah, it's my parents' house. It's pretty big seeing as it has enough room to fit me and my 4 older sisters," Naruto replied. "Wait, you have 4 older sisters?" Taiya asked. "Yeah, presumed dead," remember Naruto said, smirking, "but yeah, even still it's got a number of guest rooms, 4 I think last time I checked." "Cool, are the lights supposed to be on?" Taiya asked, pointing towards the house. When Naruto looked, he could see that the lights were on in the kitchen and living room of the house. But that Naruto ran to the door and went to open it to find it was open. Walking into the hallway, he found a red-headed woman walking out of the kitchen. He recognized her as his mother Kushina Uzumaki. "Mom?" Naruto said in a daze, not sure if this was a dream or not. The woman hearing him turned around and looked at him. "Naruto?" she asked. Naruto nodded his head. "Mom?" he asked. Kushina nodded her head this time. She was then tackled with a hug from Naruto. Having seen it coming, Kushina braced herself. "You're actually here," he cried out. "Of course I am, my precious little boy, and I promise I'll never leave again," Kushina cried herself, holding her baby boy for the first time since that night 14 years ago. "I've wanted to meet you for so long, Mom," to Bayo he said, not realizing he let his verbal tick slip. Naruto, while hugging by his mother, broke down, all the walls he put up to hide his sadness and loneliness coming down. He cried and cried, tears he though dried up years ago. "The Bayo, you really are my baby boy," Kushina said, hearing his verbal tick. Hearing her baby boy breakdown was hurting her, but now she was here and Kami helped those who continued to harm her baby boy. She began to soothe her son by tracing small circles on his back while making shush noises. Eventually, from the emotional flood, Naruto fell asleep from mental, emotional and physical fatigue. Hearing sniffing noises, Kushina looked up to find Taiya wiping tears from her eyes. "Hello, and who might you be?" she asked Taiya, who looked up. "I'm a friend of Naruto's, my name is Taiya, Lady Kushina," Taiya said, looking down at her feet in nervousness. "No need to call me lady, Taiya, now come on, let's go into the sitting room and you can introduce yourself." "Young Uzumaki," Kushina replied, lifting Naruto up. Taiya's eyes widened and was about to ask how she knew when Kushina beat her to the chase. "You don't think I wouldn't know family when I see it, your hair gives you away. It's the same shade as most Uzumakis, so I knew straight away," she said as they made their way into the sitting room. When they entered the sitting room, they found the 4 Uzumaki girls watching TV while Minato was reading a book. When Kushina entered, they all looked up to find her with Naruto in her arms. Minato sent his wife a questioning glance. "He was tired from today, and to find that we were back drained him mentally," Kushina answered. Minato nodded his head. "And who is the young lady beside you?" Minato asked. "Oh, this is Taiya," Kushina said, sitting down and lying Naruto down beside her with his head on her lap while she stroked his hair softly. Meanwhile, Naruto's sisters were finding it hard not to take him from their mother and hug the living crap out of him like a teddy bear. "Oh my god, he's so cute, like a mini dad," Hikari said, trying not to squeal like a fangirl. "I know, and those whiskers of his makes him look like a fox," Hitomi said, failing to resist the urge to squeal. "Alright Taiya, if you don't mind telling us about yourself," Minato said, giving Taiya a warm smile. Well, she then began to go into detail how she and Naruto met, all the while blushing at what Naruto said to her. Kushina and Minato smiled at how their son has met someone just as special in life. It was when Taiya finished her story that Naruto woke up. He was surprised at where he was at first, but then realized where he was and more importantly who was there with him. Then in a soft voice he said, "So it wasn't a dream, you guys are really here," he said, with his family smiling warmly and nodded. Naruto just chuckled joyfully while a few tears of joy fell. He then felt arms wrap around him, bringing him into a hug. "And we're not going anywhere, Naruto, believe it," Kushina said with a warm smile on her face. Naruto hugged her back. "Thanks Mom," he replied. "So how is my baby boy doing in the shinobi business?" Kushina asked. "Well, we finished our first C-rank mission today," Naruto said, grinning in a Vulpine-like fashion. His family had wide eyes at that. "What, but you're only fresh out of the academy, right?" Hikari, his eldest sister, said. "Well yeah, but my teammates were getting tired of D ranks, and Kakashi said we were ready for an easy C rank. All we had to do was escort this merchant to the capital. The most we had to deal with was bandits," Naruto said, easing their worries a bit and chuckling sheepishly when he mentioned the last part. "So how is your training going, son?" Minato asked. "It's going great, I'm finally able to do the Hiraishin," Naruto said with a beaming smile, making his mother and sisters gasp and his father to smile full of pride at his son. "Naruto, you learned the Hiraishin at your age?" Kushina asked her son. "Yeah, well, I was learning seals, I picked them up quick enough. It also helped having a few shadow clones help," he said with a smirk at the last part. The theory behind the Hiraishin was easy enough to grasp and Dad was detailed in his notes, but I couldn't get it to work with the kunai Dad left. When we met in the mindscape, he told me it was because they're keyed to his chakra and blood only, so I had to make the kunai from scratch, he said, showing them his own kunai. "What about the Rasengan? Did you learn that jutsu yet?" Kushina asked. Her boy was unbelievably talented. "It took me a week to learn it. Iro-senin wasn't much help though, and he was supposed to be the one teaching me the technique," Naruto said, crossing his arms in frustration, remembering when Jiraiya was helping him in his training. Jiraiya had made good on his promise to take care of Naruto if anything was to happen to Minato or Kushina. He was named godfather to Naruto after all. He would help Naruto with his training anytime he was in the village. He would normally stay for a few weeks until he had to leave again to take care of his spy network. Of course, he still took time out to do research, and Naruto caught him in the act one day, and Jiraiya was then christened Iro-senin, much to his annoyance and Sarutobi's amusement. "Who is Iro-senin, Naruto?" Minato asked his son. "Oh sorry, Hiro-sen is Jiraiya-sensei dad," Naruto said grinning. Minato looked shocked at this, but Kushina and Naruto's sisters all started giggling at Naruto's nickname for Jiraiya. "Ah, so sensei helped you, I'm also guessing you know his hobby then," Minato said, smiling, at first glad that his sensei did take care of Naruto in their absence, however he sighed at the last part. "Of course the stupid pervert was peeping on the hot springs every time he took me training," Naruto said, glaring at the window where he imagined Jiraiya to be. "Naruto, how are you getting along with your Taijutsu and Kenjutsu?" Kushina asked her son. "Well, I'm doing good, I'm learning dad's Taijutsu as I feel more comfortable with it, but I'm doing good with the Kenjutsu scrolls left here, although Heiei-sensei is busy most of the time, so I don't have someone to train me often," Naruto explained. "Not to worry little brother, your sisters are here and we can help you train in your Kenjutsu, not to mention mom is the best around," Hikari said, pumping her fist. "Thanks big sis," Naruto smiled at his oldest sister. "Don't forget son, I'm here now to help with your Taijutsu, your sisters are more fluent with your mother's style, so seeing as I came up with the style I'll be able to help your progress with it." "And with the Rasengan did you complete it?" Minato asked. "No, not yet, it's hard to get my wind element to work with it," Naruto said, looking a bit disappointed. "Cheer up son, we can work on that together," Minato said, ruffling his son's hair. Does anyone know you here? I mean, I think something like the Yondaime and his family returning would be something that they would be shouting right about now," Naruto asked with a questioning look on his face. "No, we snuck in, myself and your father are going to go have a word with Sarutobi and the council tomorrow however. Now Naruto, Taiya, would you two like something to eat?" Kushina said. "No thanks mom, we had something to eat on our way back, now we're just tired from traveling," Naruto said. "Yeah, I wanna hit the hair right about now," Taiya said. "Yes, it is getting rather late, isn't it?" Minato replied. "Alright, then we'll see you two in the morning then." Naruto and Taiya said their goodnights and headed upstairs. Naruto showed Taiya to one of the guest rooms that was right beside his. Inside was a nice queen-size bed with nice comfy sheets and pillows. Getting into the pajamas Naruto gave her, she snuggled into the bed and fell asleep instantly, again dreaming about her new life with a certain blonde, and now his family was included. Naruto too also dreamed about how life would be now. Downstairs however was a different story. The rest of the Uzumaki were planning their next moves. "Alright, so what's the plan?" Minato Kushina asked her husband. "It's rather simple, we go to Sarutobi and bring the elders up on charges that directly interfered with clan business, which is correct seeing as we are the Uzumaki clan. Because of that we have the right to demand that old one-eyed son of a bitch's head on a fucking pike," Minato replied, his eyes glowing eerily. "Damn straight that fossil is getting what's coming," Tebane Kushina said, "and with the help of Tsunade, it should be easy enough." "But of course," Minato replied. "Minato, do you plan on taking back the hat?" Kushina asked, the hat referring to the position of Hokage. "I'm not too sure, Kushina, especially after how they treated Naruto and you and our daughters," Minato said, a scowl finding its way onto his face. "I know Minato, I know," Kushina said, hugging her husband. "I must say, Naruto and Taiya remind me a lot of us, don't they, Minato?" she said, smiling warmly. "Yes, our story and theirs are similar, aren't they?" Minato replied, chuckling. "Fufu, little brother looks completely smitten," Hitomi said, giggling behind the sleeve of her jacket, much like a certain red-headed Sekirei. "I still can't believe how much our little brother has grown. I mean, I can't even perform the Hiraishin," Hikari said. "That's because sis you have a short attention span," Ryuka said. "And are quick to anger like mom, so every time you made a mistake," Haruka continued. "You'd get pissed off," Ryuka finished. "Humph. What about you two, what's your excuse?" Hikari said, pouting at her younger sisters. "Well, considering the fact that dad's notes were here," Ryuka started. "And we didn't have any kunai with us," Haruka continued. "And we were focusing more on ninjutsu and kenjutsu," Ryuka added. "We weren't interested," Haruka finished. Now girls, let's not fight over who accomplished what, now that we are finally all together Naruto and your father will be able to help you girls with the jutsu, not to mention we'll help each other out in all our training aspects." Kushina scolded her daughters. "Yes mom," came the reply from the girls. "Hey daddy, do you think Naruto and his team will be competing in the Chunin exam soon?" Hikari asked. "I don't know. I know that Naruto himself shows the qualities a Chunin should, but I'm not sure about his team. Anyway, I think it's time we turn in for the night, we'll find out more tomorrow," Minato said. But that the family did indeed retire for the night. The parents were looking back on the events of the day as they got ready for bed. They were overjoyed they had their long-lost child back with them. Minato shared with his wife as they traveled some of the things he managed to see while he was in the seal. Of course Kushina was fuming with rage at the injustice done to her son, but she was also sad to hear that her baby was alone for most of his life. Yes, he did have his surrogate family with the Sarutobi family and his godfather, but the fact remained that Naruto lived alone for most of his life. However, they knew he had a friend in Taiya now, and knowing the looks the two were sending each other, maybe something more. Of course there was also the boys from the academy, Shikamaru, Chinjai and Kiba, however they only ever really hung out during detention. But the two parents made a promise to not let their son be alone ever again. And with that the patriarch and matriarch of the Uzumaki clan went to sleep to prepare for a very eventful day tomorrow. Another thing they realized was that their son saved a life from slavery today. If Naruto hadn't saved Taiya, she would have been left to a life of experimentation, mind manipulation hell. Taiya would never remember anything other than hating and serving Orochimaru. She would have a disgusting vile seal placed on her that would forever change her whole person. She would no longer be a kind girl who cares for her friends and family, but a brash overbearing evil foul-mouthed little bitch that would have eventually been killed. However that will never happen, thanks to an old man who trusted his instincts in giving a group of genin an easier job. That's right, in another reality or dimension or parallel universe, the Hokage would have assigned Team 7 to bodyguard detail to one Tazuna, bridge builder of Wave Country. However he didn't, no, instead he investigated the case and found out that the bridge builder had lied about the mission parameters and it was actually an A rank mission. Sarutobi almost kicked Tazuna out however, after hearing Tazuna's story, he arranged an IOU and got a team of skilled genin to carry out an A rank assassination mission instead. This resulted in Wave being liberated when Gat was taken out alongside his forces after the team had to deal with one Zabuza Mamachi and his student, one Hakuyuki. Of course Wave slowly reclaimed their hope and the bridge was built and the people of Wave claimed ownership of Gat's property and business and brokered a deal with Konoha. However they didn't get a hero this time around and the bridge was simply called Aratana Kibm, no Hashi Bridge of New Hope. This mission only took 2 weeks, whereas if it was Team 7 to take said mission, it would have taken them a month or 1 week to complete, leaving the team little time to prepare for the Chunin exams. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the chaos theory or butterfly effect. Even the smallest of ripples can cause large waves. Story end. Story begin. Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze awoke sometime after 12 having to go to the bathroom. As he exited the bathroom he heard sniffling coming from Taiya's room which was opposite the main bathroom. He approached the door and knocked, hearing a come in from within, along with some more sniffling. Naruto entered the room. As he entered the room Taiya turned on the lamp next to the bed, as soon as she did Naruto saw her eyes were red and wet with fresh tears. It didn't take a genius to know what Taiya was upset over and Naruto went over to her to embrace her in a hug. As soon as he did she broke down again crying it wasn't fair and how she missed her family. Naruto just let her get it out of her system. It's okay Taiya, just let it out, but remember you're not alone, you have family here now and we won't let you go through this alone. Naruto whispered rubbing her back. Taiya tightened her grip on Naruto as she continued to cry. After a while she stopped and wiped the tears from her eyes, she then looked at Naruto who smiled warmly. Thanks Naruto, it's just I miss them so much, Taiya said hugging him again. I know Taiya, but again I won't let you go through this alone, I'm here for you, that's what friends are for he said smiling his foxy smile. Taiya smiled warmly at him. Why don't you go back to sleep, you look exhausted, Naruto added as he tried to get up and leave however he was stopped when Taiya grabbed his arm. Please stay, just for tonight she said in a strained voice filled with vulnerability and longing. Are you sure Taiya? Naruto asked. Taiya nodded her head and gave him smile. Yeah, I just don't want to be alone tonight, please she replied. Alright then Naruto replied as he lied down on the bed as Taiya snuggled up to him. It didn't take them long to fall back asleep, Taiya was out before her head rested on Naruto's chest, she was completely worn out from venting her sadness. Later that morning. Around sunrise. Naruto woke up later to go about his morning ritual, leaving a shadow clone behind, he was halfway through his Kenjutsu katas when he was startled by his mother. You're a little too stiff with those movements Sachi. You need to be more fluid, think of your blade as an extension of your own body Kushina said, noticing his rigid stances in the katas, the more fluid you move the faster you become in them she said, fixing his stances and guiding him through them, but other than that. You are very good she said shooting her son a warm smile full of pride for her son, Naruto returned a beaming a smile to his mother at her praise. Thanks K-chan, unfortunately when I trained with Hayate-sensei, he would subconsciously train me in his style, and I would quickly change the katas, but he always taught me to have a tight grip on my sword at all times Naruto said, looking a bit saddened at the last part. That's no problem at all, it won't take you that long to correct your stances, as the flaws aren't that bad, you just need to loosen up a bit, as our style is meant to be fast and fluid like waves, Kushina replied still smiling a warm smile at her son. Now any reason why you are out training so early she asked. Oh I'm always up this early, Naruto said with a smile. Really, and what do you do this early Kushina asked. Well he started as he told his mother of his training routine once again shocking his poor mother with his escapades. You don't do anything half-assed do you Sachi Kushina said with a smirk, her boy was the perfect blend of herself and Minato. Hikari was exactly like her, Hitomi was well Hitomi, and the twins actually took after their great-grandaunt Mito, but Naruto appeared to be a perfect mix. He had his father's intellect and knack for all things shinobi, as well as his calm attitude and perseverance. But he didn't take anything lying down like her, he also was about as stubborn as herself as well. Nope, Naruto said with a beaming smile. I'm in Uzumaki, we never do anything half-assed to Bayo, he said, pumping his fist. He mentally twitched, he thought he had the tick under control, but for whatever reason he couldn't help himself around his family. Alright Naruto, I'll leave you to it, breakfast should be ready by 8, she said as she walked back towards the house. Okay K-chan, Naruto said, finished up his kata practice, seeing as he had the improved stances sorta of memorized, to get them memorized quicker, he created a bunch of clones to spar with to get the motions down. After a while he found his mother was right, as he became more fluid in his movements, the easier it became for him to move and strike quicker. When he was finished with the battle royal with his clones, Naruto then went to practice his taijutsu katas. Once he was finished with it he began his cool down, as his clones began to dispel at the same time in groups of 5 every 10 minutes. When he was finished with it he went back upstairs into his room to get a clean set of clothes, and making sure the bathroom was free, went and washed himself. When he was finished he got himself dressed and headed downstairs to find his father and 2 oldest sisters Hikari and Hitomi at the breakfast table with his mother. Morning 2-chan, anime, ni-chan, Naruto said as he poured himself a glass of orange juice from the fridge. Morning Musuko Atanto, came the replies. Hitomi, can you go wake up the twins, and Naruto, can you wake up Taiya, Kushina asked. No problem, Hitomi said. Sure thing K-chan, Naruto said, following his sister upstairs. Not 15 minutes later Hitomi and Naruto came back down, followed by Taiya and the twins. Once everyone was seated at the table Kushina served them breakfast which consisted of eggs, bacon, sausages and toast. Once that was done Naruto and his sisters helped clean up. After that Naruto asked what was on his mind. So what's the plan for today K-chan, 2-chan, he looked to his parents. And so Minato and Kushina told their only son the plan of attack for the elders. Later near the Hokage's office. Naruto was walking toward the Hokage's office with a look of purpose on his face, he had 2 objectives today, and he was going to accomplish them. So when he walked up to the door leading to the office he knocked on it, and walking in when he heard his grandfather figure say come in. When he walked in, he could see Sarutobi working away on some paperwork while smoking his pipe, the scent of tobacco permeating the air. Ah Naruto my boy, what brings you by today, Sarutobi asked smiling at his surrogate grandson. Pyoj plus Chan, well first I wanted to see about having Taiya replace Sakura and Team 7 Naruto said, giving a serious look to Sarutobi. Oh, and pray tell Naruto why that is, Sarutobi replied. Balaj plus Chan, Sakura may have had the best scores in the academy, but they ain't worth jack in the field, and so far she hasn't shown any improvement in her physical abilities, even after her faults are pointed out to her, plus she never contributes during the missions, she come up with an excuse like she'll get dirty or some stupid reason or another. She's too busy fawning over Uchiha, and nothing myself or sensei has told her will change her mind. I think it would be best if after Taiya passes her test that Sakura be tested as well, maybe have them spar against each other or something. Taiya would be so much better for the team as she is serious about her training, and if we continue the way we are Sakura is only going to get us killed with her fantasy of Sasuke protecting her like a damsel, and he the White Knight, Naruto explained to Sarutobi, who thought over it for a while, humming as he did. Yes, I believe you have a point Naruto, it is very disappointing that some of our young Kunoichi are like this, but apparently our academy teachers have seen fit not to correct that. I believe I need to have a little chat with the academy headmaster in terms of the passing standards. I mean seriously, the only passing requirement for genins is to be able to correctly use a meager clone jutsu, which in all honesty is a simple genjutsu, but that is for another time. Alright, I'll summon Kakashi later to discuss this with him and get his opinion. Now is there anything else you need to ask of me, Naruto, Sarutobi said. Actually yes, Naruto started, then he went shinobi mode, i.e. he went completely focused Hokage-sama. I request the presence of Elder Danzo Shimura, Naruto said. And why would you need Danzo here, Naruto, Sarutobi asked. Because I want him charged with treason and interfering with clan affairs, such as trying to kidnap the clan heir, Naruto said, looking the old man straight in the eye. Naruto, those are some serious accusations, do you have any proof to these claims, Sarutobi asked, looking slightly shocked. Yes Hokage-sama, Naruto replied with a slight smirk. Alright then, Nico Tora, please tell Danzo he is needed in my office immediately. Sarutobi asked his Anbu. Hi Hokage-sama, the 2 ninja replied, disappearing in a swirl of leaves. A few minutes later the 2 Anbu ninja returned, and a man with his right arm in a sling and bandages covering half his face came in through the door. What is the meaning of this Hiruzen, the man asked. Well Danzo, this young genin has something to say, Sarutobi replied, gesturing to Naruto to begin. Yes, Danzo Shimura, I'm accusing you of treason and interfering with clan business, such as trying to kidnap the clan heir of the Uzumaki clan. Naruto said, glaring at the bandaged man. Oh, and what proof do you have? Uzumaki? Danzo said, glaring back at him. This, Naruto said, taking out a familiar tri-pronged kunai. Danzo and Sarutobi's eyes widened. Naruto, have you mastered it? Sarutobi asked. Ij plus Chan, but this isn't one of mine, Naruto said with a smirk that would make his mother proud. What is that supposed to mean, boy? Danzo retorted. Naruto just continued to smirk before doing his part of the plan. Flashback. Alright Naruto, what we need you to do is go to Sarutobi and ask him to bring Danzo in on charges of treason and interfering in clan affairs. You'll be taking one of my kunai with you, and when Danzo gets there you show them this as proof and then stab it onto the floor beside you. Your mother and I will then appear using the Hiraishin and take it from there. Alright, Minato said, telling Naruto the plan. Got it, 2-chan, Naruto said, nodding his head. Flashback END. Naruto then threw the kunai into the floor beside him, and to the shock of both Sarutobi and Danzo, a flash of yellow appeared and two people the old men thought dead appeared before them. Hello Sandame-sama, Danzo, Minato said, smiling at Sarutobi and fixing an icy cold glare on Danzo. Sup Oyaji, old man, as in Father, Kushina said, smiling at her father figure. Team bastard, she said, glaring at Danzo. Minato, Kushina, how Sarutobi. You were lied to, Oj plus Chan, by him, Naruto said, pointing at the mummy shinobi. What do you mean, Naruto? Sarutobi asked his godson. What he means is that we were never dead. He also lied to me when he told me my husband and only son were dead. We took Minato's body as per custom in the Uzumaki clan. We were unable to find Naruto's due to the confusion. However, it was found out that Minato was in a coma as his soul was sealed in Naruto as a failsafe. Kushina said, now I do believe that the penalty for not only treason but attempting to interfere with a clan such as kidnapping the heir is death, correct Oyaji? She asked, looking towards Hiruzen. Yes, Kushina, that is the penalty, Sarutobi said, looking at his teammate disappointed. What were you thinking, Danzo? That you were a fool, Hiruzen. That boy is the village's best weapon. I wanted it so I could make this village great. With the power of the Kyuubi we would have dominated over the other villages. But no, you the ever-soft fool decided to raise him like any other child. Danzo started, only to feel the killing intent off of Naruto's parents. That's because he is like any other child. The way I sealed the Kyuubi was that it would never take over Naruto or be able to influence him whatsoever, Minato said, glaring at the bandaged man. I hope you have your affairs in order, Danzo, because your ass is mine, Kushina said, hair waving in 9 strands. Then, with Kushina being a censor, sensed Danzo building up chakra for a shunshin. Oh no you don't, Kushina said as chains burst from the ground in front of Danzo, suppressing his chakra, cause if they could suppress the Kyuubi's chakra, then surely they could trap anyone. Minato then went up to him and slapped a couple of chakra-suppressing seals on him. Now Danzo, were our teammates Koharu and Homura involved in any of this? Sarutobi asked with a stern glare focused on the bandaged man. Of course not, those two lost their spines after Sensei's death, Danzo spat. Alright then, Anbu, Sarutobi called, as 4 cloaked masked ninja appeared, Nico and Tor reappearing, as well as a hawk masked man and an ox masked man. Aka Hawk, Ushi Ox, take Danzo to a nice cozy cell in Anbu HQ, Nico, Tora, I need you to contain route, see lawful access tunnels with only one way out. I will address them shortly. I believe you use the standard control seals, Danzo, am I correct? Sarutobi asked, ordered. Yes, Danzo growled out, unfortunately we only ever got the one from the Uzumaki back in the first Shinobi War. That's because we didn't believe in using Kenjutsu like that, team, we only did to originally secure Uzushiogakure, Kushina said, glaring at the man. Such a pity, really, Danzo said. Enough. Taka, Ushi, take him away immediately, Sarutobi said. Hi Hokage-sama, they replied, disappearing in a swirl of leaves. Now we can all agree that Danzo is hereby charged with the crimes and sentenced to death, do you agree? Sarutobi asked, turning to the small family. Hi Sandame-sama, Oyaji Oj plus Chan, came the replies from Naruto and his parents. Very well, I believe now I have one disgraced elder, the council of elders need to be replaced. I believe it is time to create a council consisting of the clan heads of Konoha. They will help advise the Hokage the best way to implement laws and what not to help Konoha and her people, however the Hokage will still have the final say. Sarutobi said, hands holding his head up by the chin. Sounds like a good idea, Sandame-sama, Minato said, grinning his usual smile. Now, may I be so bold as to ask if you would be willing to take back the hat? Sarutobi asked. I don't think I will, Sandame-sama, just consider me retired, Minato replied. Yeah, considering you're taking up the Uzumaki seat, Minakoi, there's no way I'm taking up that job, Tebing, Kushina said, shaking her head in the negative. What? Why Mikushi-chan? Minato said, doing a good impression of a fish. What, you hardly expect Naruto or one of the girls to take the seat, anyway you'd be better at it seeing as you were Hokage, plus like it or not, but your clan head Minokoi, that's what happens when you marry the heiress of the clan Tebane, Kushina said, pointing a finger at him with her right hand on hip, you were always better at politics than I, it's the only reason why I gave up on Hokage. Well, that and the paperwork. Fine, only because Naruto can't do it until he's Junin, Minato said, sighing as his shoulders drooped. So then I'm assuming Naruto is the clan heir, Sarutobi asked, looking back and forth between the parents. Well, I think he was already made clan heir, seeing as we were all presumed dead, Minato said, shrugging his head. You don't mind, do you, Musuko, he said, looking towards Naruto, who up until now was talking with Kikbi, devising a way to get him free from the seal without killing him. Oh yeah, no, I don't mind, I was planning on becoming clan head anyway and reviving the clan when I'm older, Naruto said, rubbing the back of his head sheepishly. Well, that's a good ambition, Minato said, grinning back. Yup, Naruto said, grinning his foxy smile. Alright, that'll do for today, now you three go home, I need to organize this now, ugh, I wish you could take the hat and take this paperwork from me, Minato Sarutobi said, puffing on his pipe. Hey Oj plus Chan, why don't you just use shadow clones, Naruto said. Kushina chuckled while Minato and Sarutobi were doing their best impressions of a fish. Then Minato began thumping himself in the head, while Sarutobi knocked his head off the desk a couple of times, with both of them muttering stupid over and over again. Thank you, Naruto, you just helped an old man defeat his most difficult foe of his life, Sarutobi said, bowing his head. Naruto just rubbed the back of his neck again sheepishly. No problem, Oj plus Chan, Naruto said. With that, the three Uzumaki took their leave. Throughout the day, Sarutobi would be busy organizing the clan heads to agree to the formation of the clan council. But the Uzumaki. Currently, Naruto and Taiya were training after Naruto told her his plan of getting her onto Team 7. Currently they were engaged in a Kenjutsu match after procuring a katana and a Bakugan for Taiya. The two were currently using their Bakugan for. The two were currently trading blow for blow, going at Chunin level speeds while getting instructions from Kushina. Naruto went for a horizontal slash with Taiya narrowly dodging it. Naruto, you're swinging too slowly, Taiya, you need to dodge faster, Kushina said, looking on at the two young Uzumaki sparring. She was quite surprised with the ability Taiya was showing, she was just as adept as Naruto, and he was currently mid to high Chunin, Taiya herself was low to mid Chunin, however she was managing to keep up with Naruto with little difficulty. Hi K-chan, Ba-chan, the two young teens replied, taking in their sensei's words, and with renewed vigor, the two went at it again. Naruto's older sister Hikari was looking on in fascination. Wow, they're really good, how long have they been training, Hikari asked. Well, according to Naruto-kun, he has been training since he was 8, although he isn't as fluid as most Uzumaki would be, but he isn't a rookie at our style either, and Taiya told me that her mother has been training her since she was 9, Kushina replied. Wow, Hikari said with a warm smile aimed towards her brother. The sparring continued for another half hour before Kushina called it quits and called them inside for lunch. Currently with Minato. Minato and the other clan heads were finally called to the council room, which was refurbished with a large round table in the middle with numerous chairs. Currently Minato was in the shadows seeing as his return hasn't been announced yet. While at the table was the other numerous clan heads. The clans attending included Hiashi Hyuga, head of the main branch of the Hyuga clan, and Hinata's father. Shikaku Nara, father of Shikamaru and head of the Nara clan. Inoichi Yamanaka, Ino's father and head of the Yamanaka clan. Tao's Akimichi, Chimjai's father and head of the Akimichi clan. Shibi Aburam, Shino's father and head of the Aburam clan. Asuma Inyazuka, Kiba's mother and head of the Inyazuka clan. Asuma Sarutobi, Hiruzen's youngest and surviving son, currently filling in for his father for the Sarutobi clan, as Hiruzen was currently Hokage. Tsunade was present, of course after much nagging from Shizune, she was of course head of the Senju clan. The Uchiha seat was currently empty seeing as the heir was currently only Genin. As was the Kurama seat, the heiress was currently in hospital due to the incident that nearly wiped out the clan. The clan heiress had great potential for Genjutsu, however her skills overpowered her and put her in hospital and wiped out half the clan. She was currently being treated and is being given help to control her powers. Currently the other heads were wondering why Tsunade was present and if she was planning on staying. She answered by telling them that it would be explained when her sensei the Hokage decided to join them. This was when Sarutobi decided to appear walking into the room and sitting at the seat designated for the Hokage. Thank you all for coming, Sarutobi said as he sat down. As he did, the clan heads began their questions. Hokage-sama, why is it we were all called here, asked Hiashi. Well, Hiashi, the reason why I have called you all here is because recently evidence has been brought to me that has called into question the loyalty and ability of the Council of Elders to do what's best for the village, so I have decided to retire my old teammates and create a new council involving the clan heads. You will help decide what would be best for Konoha and her people, however, as this is still a military dictatorship, I will still have the last say, Sarutobi explained. Okage-sama, what was it that made you lose faith in the elders? Inoichi said. The reason is that Danzo himself sought fit to meddle in the affairs of a clan to try and kidnap the heir, and such actions such as these, and the Uchiha incident where they went behind my back and ordered Itachi to murder his entire clan, was another incident where my faith was shook, therefore they have been gotten rid of, and I have decided to establish this new council, Sarutobi said. Which clan did he meddle with? Hiashi asked, gaining a curiosity about this subject. The Uzumaki, Sarutobi said, smoking his pipe and blowing a small cloud of smoke. You see, we were lied to, and because of Danzo, Naruto had to go without his family for his early life, however thankfully Kami was kind to the boy. You see, Kushina and her daughters were not killed in the Kikbi attack, but were lied to as well, he said. You mean to say they have returned? Hokage-sama Chaoza said. Not just them, Chaoza, but also myself, Minato said, stepping out of the shadows. Everyone bar Sarutobi and Tsunade were mimicking gaping fish. Tsunade was smirking, she knew both Minato and Kushina were still alive. Minato, you're alive, they all stuttered. Yes, and I'm not too thrilled with the way my family was treated while I was saving the village, Minato said with a scowl. However, thankfully Danzo will be paying for his transgression soon enough, he said. Minato then explained to his fellow clan heads how and why he was amongst them at the moment, explaining how he was still alive and why he was taking the Uzumaki seat instead of returning to Hokage duty. Now then, let's get to the other main point I have called you here. We need to discuss as to whether or not to have the Chunin exams in Konoha in 3 months' time, Sarutobi began, which got the clan heads discussing the reasons for and against it. Time skip 1 week. Training Ground 7. Over the past week, a lot had happened. The Hokage managed to disband Root and merge most of the agents into the Anbu Black Ops. The younger members were returned to their families or orphanages. Danzo himself was publicly executed by Kushina in the village center. This was both retribution for the crimes he committed against her and her family, and a message to those who would try to attempt something similar to any clan. After investigating into Danzo's lair, it was found out that he had several Sharingan in his possession, as well as DNA from the Shodaime Hokage. His notes explained how he was attempting to replace his disabled arm with one created from the Shodaime's DNA, with several Sharingan fitted onto it. The notes also explained how he attempted to gain Shisui Uchiha's Sharingan due to Shisui unlocking the Manjikyu with a powerful Genjutsu that allowed him to manipulate people into doing whatever he wanted. However, Shisui destroyed his eyes before Danzo's agent could remove them. Also, word finally got around that Minato and Kushina had returned from the dead. Many began to see Naruto in a new light once they heard exactly who his parents were, however it made no difference to Naruto as he had the support of his family now and that of his friends. Today we find Teiya and Sakura in front of the Hokage, Kakashi, Shikaku Nara and Iruka Yamino. Naruto and his family were there for Teiya's support, however, Sakura was wondering why exactly she was here. Sarutobi had brought Naruto's case to Kakashi, who agreed wholeheartedly that Sakura was a kunoichi of questionable skill and decided to go with his nephew's idea of testing Sakura, and if she doesn't meet the standards, have her replaced with Teiya. Alright young ladies, you're probably wondering why the two of you are here today, right? Asked Kakashi. He was in the middle of the training ground reading his orange book as per usual. Well, I know I'm here to be tested whether or not I can become a kunoichi. I don't know why Pinky is here, Teiya said, answering honestly. I don't know why I'm here, and I don't care why she is here, Sakura said, glaring at the redeed. Well, Teiya got it right, but the two of you are to be tested if you can be a ninja. You will be pitted against each other, and you must use all of your skill, because if Teiya wins she will be made genin, and will be replacing you on Team 7 Sakura, and you will be heading back to the academy, Kakashi said. But why does she get the chance to replace me, Sakura shouted. It has been brought to the Hokage's attention that you aren't fit to be a ninja, you don't take precedence in your training, and you're too busy fawning over Sasuke, and any intelligence you may have shown in the academy is thrown out the window when fawning over said person. Kakashi said, completely serious. But sensei, she said, tears forming in her eyes. No, but Sakura, these are the consequences of your actions. This isn't like a fairy tale where Sasuke is your white knight who will come to save you when you get in trouble. Yes, he is your teammate, and so is Naruto, however, that doesn't mean they are supposed to do all the work while you fawn over Sasuke. Kakashi interrupted, now the rules are simple, the two of you will have a standard spar, no killing blows, only knockout blows, understood? He said to the both of them. Teiya fell into the standard Uzumaki Taijutsu stance, whereas Sakura fell into the standard academy stance, a sloppy one at that. Alright, on my mark, go, Kakashi said, bring his arm down in a karate chop-like action. The two girls just stared at each other until Sakura got impatient and sloppily threw 3 kunai at Teiya, who only needed to throw one to deflect one, headed straight for her. Sakura's other two were completely wide. Taiya then easily dodged Sakura's left cross, then Taiya grabbed her right arm and then struck several nervous points disabling the arm, it hanging loosely at Sakura's side. Taiya then gave Sakura a punch to her left side of her face, fracturing her jaw. Sakura realizing she was in trouble jumped back grimacing that she was outmatched, however, with some reassurance from her inner self we can't let this skank get near our Sasuke-kun-cha. Sakura somehow forgetting her numb arm, created two normal bunchins and charged at Taiya, pathetically believing she had her fooled. Taiya saw her stupid plan and decided to end the fight now, running through some hand signs, she called out her jutsu, Suiten. Tepndama water release. Gunshot with it she fired a low-powered ball of water from her mouth, aiming at the Sakura in the middle, who didn't even bother concealing the fact she was in the middle. The water bullet hit Sakura square in the torso, pushing her back against a tree where she hit her head and was knocked out. Kakashi went over to check on Sakura to make sure she was alright and found she was merely knocked out. Sakura is unable to continue, Taiya is the winner Kakashi said. Yes Taiya said pumping her fist. Way to go Taiya Naruto said smiling at his friend. He motioned for a high five which Taiya gave. After a while Sakura was woken up and healed by Tsunade, who was there in case the match decided to get real serious. After being told she lost Sakura became very silent, the Hokage decided he would give his verdict that himself, Haruka and Shikaku came to after the match. Well done girls, I like to congratulate Taiya on her victory and present to her, this Konoha hit I-8 Sarutobi said, handing Taiya a black hit I-8 which she tied around her head under her bangs. Thank you Hokage-sama Taiya said bowing to Sarutobi. You are very much welcome Taiya-chan, make Konoha proud and wear that hit I-8 with pride, Sarutobi said smiling at the young girl. He then turned to Sakura with a saddened expression I'm sorry Sakura, but I will have to ask you to remove your hit I-8 and if you still want to be a Kunoichi, you may rejoin the academy at the start of the next school year. Hi Hokage-sama Sakura said tears building up in her eyes when the Hokage turned around to head back to his office, Sakura ran home crying her dreams of her and Sasuke marrying smashed to pieces. After congratulating Taiya, the Hokage, the Nara head and Iruka returned to their respective jobs. Kakashi then came up to Naruto and Taiya next. Well I believe congratulations are in order Taiya. Kakashi said, smiling his eye. Thank you Kakashi-san Taiya said bowing to the son of the White Fang. You're welcome Taiya, Kakashi replied now I just want to tell you and Naruto that we have a team meeting next Tuesday, I want you two to meet me there at 7 am, Jana Kakashi said waving to them as he disappeared in a swirl of leaves. Does he do that often Taiya said repressing the urge to hunt the scarecrow down and beating him with a very hard sticker club. More times than not, but I digress, we're meeting him Tuesday, but at 10 Naruto said walking towards the village. Why, won't we be late? Taiya asked. Nope he won't come until 10 o'clock, he's always 3 hours late and I use the time to train in the mornings, anyway wanna get something to eat at Ichiraku's, my treat Naruto said, looking at the girl who blushed a bit. What like a D-date or something she stuttered blushing up a storm. And no, I mean just two friends celebrating a victory today, Naruto said his face matching Taiya's hair color. Oh okay then, but you're buying Taiya said pointing at him. I did say it was my treat so yes I will be buying Naruto said with a grin, with that the two teens made their way to the raiment stand. 1 week later. After testing the new and improved Team 7 with another bell test, Kakashi was astounded to find the teamwork so much better, well Naruto and Taiya's teamwork was flawless and Sasuke grudgingly contributed occasionally as well. After that Kakashi had them do a few more D ranks, in fact Team 7 returned today from their first C rank mission since Taiya joined. It was simple bandit removal mission, one necessary as Taiya needed her first kill as a Kunoichi out of the way. This was actually quite easy for her seeing as Naruto was there to help her through it, he comforted her the same way Kakashi did for him after his first kill. Team 7, how was the mission the third Hokage said welcoming them as they entered the mission's office. It was successful Hokage-sama, Kakashi said, handing the aged leader the mission scroll. Well done Team 7, as per standard protocol you have the next week off from missions, just as well, seeing as we have a festival coming up next week, celebrating the founding of the village, the old ninja said, taking a drag from his pipe. Alright now, Team 7 dismissed. But that Naruto and Taiya left via Shunshin while Sasuke left through the door. But Naruto and Taiya. When they exited the Shunshin the Uzumaki duo found themselves in the front of the Uzumaki compound, regaining their bearings they walked inside and found the rest of the family sitting in the living room. We're home Naruto called as he finished taking off his sandals, he was surprised however, when he looked up to see his sisters smiling down on him almost ominously. Eihia Anue, Wani-chan, Ryuka-ni, Ruka-ni, Naruto said chuckling nervously. Akari then looked back into the house and called to her mother. Okay Chan-me and the girls are taking Anto shopping for our kimonos, we'll be back later she said as Kushina walked out into the hall. Okay girls have fun Kushina replied smiling warmly at her children. Wait, what? Naruto said, tilting his head confused, however he was surprised as he was grabbed by the twins and was slowly dragged out the door. Wait, stop, I already have a kimono, Anu would tell them to stop. Sorry Otanto, but today you are our official pack mule, Hikari said, smiling sweetly. But all you have to do is seal them away into scrolls, Naruto said, panicking now. As they were exiting the Uzumaki house, they were met by their father, who was amused at the situation in front of him. Naruto, spotting his father, sent the man a pleading look. TM-chan, help, they're kidnapping me, save me. Sorry Naruto-kun, but I need to speak with your OK-chan, but by all means have fun with your sisters, Minato replied, chuckling as he started walking to the house. No, wait, please help TM-chan, Oij plus Naruto called out. He then saw his dad walk into the house. Damn it, I'll get you for this, you blonde flaky team, he shouted, still struggling in his sister's grasp. All the while Taya was laughing her ass off, rolling back and forth on the ground. At first Naruto was weary of the situation he found himself in, but the more time he spent with his sisters, the more he began to enjoy himself, although he was still not amused at being their pack mule. As he was studying the Hurrition, he found the theory of multiple realities very interesting, and at the moment he felt sorry for the versions of him that did not have a family right now, cause despite this torture he loved his sisters and have gotten a lot closer to them the past weeks since they came into his life. Well, it kinda helped that they treat him like a large teddy bear. Which Taya finds hilarious, by the way. For being a gentleman, his eldest sister Hikari treated him to Ichirakus, quickly earning the title of coolest sister ever, much to her amusement, as it seemed her baby brother had reverted to a childish prankster from his normally serious attitude. They returned home to find their father passed out on the couch. Well, Naruto smiled a wicked smile and chuckled, not unlike a certain snake summoner, as he put his plan into motion. When he was finished, Naruto went into the kitchen to find Taya and Kushina talking at the table, leaving his sisters in stitches and Hitomi exclaiming about soap operas. Tia-chan, Yaya-chan, he said as he approached the fridge to get a glass of milk. Sachi, glad to see you're home so early, where are your sisters? Kushina asked, looking slightly shocked. They're in the sitting room keeping TM-chan company, Naruto said, chuckling. Kushina gave him a warm smile and nodded. Alright, you two come to the backyard for some training. Yada Hirtashin, your father and one of the suspected fainted up completely, indicating a secondary water affinity, Naruto exclaimed as himself and Taya followed Kushina outside. When they arrived in the backyard, Kushina motioned for them to stand in front of her. When they did as she wanted, Kushina took out 2 slips of paper from her pocket. Now I called you two out here as I wanted to see your elemental affinities, she told them, seeing their questioning stares. But for K-chan, I already know mine is wind, Naruto replied. Yeah, and mine is water, Taya added. Ah, but those are just your primary affinities. With the training we have been putting you two through, you should have at least developed a second one, if not a third, Kushina replied as she looked at them, amused at their impatience. Now humor me and run your chakra through these chakra slips. Okay then, Naruto and Taya replied as they walked up and took the slips from her. Taya went first, with one half of her slip soaking and the other half crumbling to dust. Ah, very good, Taya, a primary water as we knew, but a secondary to earth, Kushina said, smiling. She then turned to Naruto. Alright Sachi-kun, your turn. Hi K-chan, Naruto replied. He then ran his chakra through the slip of paper and as he expected, it split in half, indicating his primary wind affinity. However, he was shocked when the two halves then further reacted, one half soaked completely while the other crumpled up completely, indicating a secondary water affinity and a tertiary lightning affinity. This made Kushina squeal slightly and hug Naruto tightly. Oh Sachi, this is wonderful, even your affinities is the perfect blend of mine and your father, she chirped, smiling broadly. What do you mean, K-chan? Naruto asked, confused once more. Kushina let go of him and faced him. Well, this may be a surprise, but both your father and I have a wind affinity, thus your primary wind affinity, the water affinity you got from me, of course signifying your heritage, then your lightning affinity is from your father, and one of the suspected necessities, in order to perform the Hurrition, Kushina explained to her son. Who smiled at this fact. Now Sachi-kun, have you worked on your wind affinity? Yeah, I got help from Asuma Oji-san, Naruto said, nodding his head. Ah, of course, little Asuma-kun, so how far did you get in mastering it? Kushina asked, still smiling. Well, I managed to cut a leaf right down the middle and also cut a waterfall as well, he said, striking a thinking pose, his mother squealing quietly at how cute he looked. She shook her head, getting rid of the urge to hug him again, and grew serious. Alright, well, you managed to get some mastery over it then. However, Uzumaki have more ways than that to completely master one's affinity, Kushina said. First, what you need to do is go back to the leaf cutting exercise. However, rather than cutting it down the middle as usual, you must try to cut a spiral out of it. Okay, that doesn't sound so difficult, especially seeing as I got the leaf cutting exercise down to a T, Naruto said. Ah, you say that now, Naru-chan, but trust me when I say you will curse it, Kushina said, smiling at her son, who was blushing embarrassed at his mother's use of his pet name. Now hop to it. Right, Cage Bunshin no Jutsu, he said, creating 50 clones, causing his mother to gasp in surprise. Oh my, Sachi, you found the secret behind the shadow clone? Kushina asked as she saw the clones begin the exercise. Yup, it really came in handy to get my chakra control up, Naruto said, smiling brightly. How do you get around the memory backlash? Kushina asked, concerned for her son's health, learning he used a very dangerous technique to advance his training. Don't worry, K-chan, I dispel them 2 at a time every 5 minutes, this lets me get used to the new memories easily and not wear me out too much, Naruto said, smiling at his mother, touched at her concern for him. Oh good, even though it's great for training in ninjutsu and chakra control, the Cage Bunshin is still a very dangerous jutsu, even for us Uzumaki. Never forget that, Naru-chan, Kushina said, still worried for her son, but smiled warmly at the growing young man in front of her. Hi K-chan, I won't forget, Naruto said, smiling back, and was surprised when his mother pulled him into a hug. Good, I only got you back, Sachi, I couldn't stand losing you again, Kushina said, slightly crying. You won't, K-chan, I promise, Naruto said, returning the hug. Taiya, although busy from her elemental training, still saw the touching scene and smiled for her friend and pseudo-aunt. Okay, now don't train too much, Naruto as well, and it much to her amusement as it seemed her baby brother had reverted to a childish you too. I want you inside in an hour and cleaned up for dinner, understood, Kushina said, smiling and sending them a stern stare near the end of her statement, making the 2 teens stiffen in their stances. Hi K-chan, Oba-chan, they replied, shaking their heads rapidly. Good, Kushina chirped as she headed inside as the 2 teens returned to their training. When Kushina went inside, she was met by Minato, who had begun to chop up vegetables for the dinner. When he turned to welcome her, Kushina fought the urge to break down laughing at the sight of her husband's face, as it was painted like a kabuki performer. Ah, Kushi-chan, just in time, I just started preparing dinner and I need some help, Minato said to his loving wife. Of course, Mina-kun, I'll get started on the miso soup, Kushina said, smiling at her husband. Now that the 2 of them were working on dinner, they managed to cook dinner in record time, making enough ramen to feed the family of 7 Uzumaki and 1 Namikaze. It all came to a head, however, when the children were called in to eat, as when the girls came in and saw Minato, they burst into giggles. Or guffaws in the case of Hitomi, and snickers from Naruto and Taiya. What? What's so funny? Minato asked, looking confused at the laughs. Looking to his wife, all Minato got was a shrug of the shoulders, however has noticed this odd gleam in her eyes. It was Hikari, however, who gave Minato his answer when she spoke next. Nothing too, Chan, she giggled, it's just, when did you start to take after Jiraiya more? What do you mean more, Hikari? Minato asked, still confused. Hikari reached into her back pouch and retrieved a pocket mirror and gave it to Minato. Seeing not much to lose, Minato held up the mirror and looked into it and was immediately aware of the joke shared by his family and was horrified. Ah, how did this happen? He asked, looking around the table at his daughters, son, Taiya and Kushina, and immediately he saw the sly grin on his son's face and pointed accusingly, comical tears running down his face. Naruto, how? Why? I told you I'd get you, Aji, Naruto said, grin still in place, all the time the girls still laughing at the prank played on the famous 4th Hokage. Dinner remained a joyous occasion for the family, with most of their worries now behind them. At the end of dinner, Naruto helped his father clean up an apology for the prank, while the rest of the family retired to the sitting room to gossip over current affairs. It wasn't soon after that bedtime came about and the family retired to their rooms, no one noticing Taiya sneaking into Naruto's room. All across the village, families slept peacefully, still unaware of the change that will be coming to their ways of life, whether good or bad has yet to be seen, but always remember that life is what you make it. Chapter end. What if Naruto of Kenjutsu Prodigy Sasuke bashing, and thanks for watching my video till the end. If you enjoy this content, then do consider subscribing to my channel and leave a like if you guys need the next part, comment down, and thanks for watching the video and see you guys in the next video.